Peace and power, peace and power. Welcome back, everybody. We are on chapter 7 still, and so in that we're gonna just keep reading. I can't
Mm,
even imagine what else chapter 7 has for us at this point. It has gotten us all the way together. Per usual, we're gonna just take a minute to pause, just to send the links out. Y'all know.
yes, thank you. Peace, everyone.
Yeah. So, what do you think about chapter 7 so far?
It You already know, like I'm so glad that we are having our discussions on Wednesday to really break things down and process everything. And I find going throughout the week just thinking about past experiences really and what's brought me here.
Right. Right. That's what the book is doing a lot of, sending a lot of us back in time to see if we could pinpoint in those past relationships just how can we see ourselves at those points of time with the
Mm,
people, what kind of energy is being sent out. It's all amazing. It is. I speak to a lot of you in private, and everybody is just talking about the book and how one of my homegirls said she said she needed a cigarette after listening to what we read. And I'm like, yes, it is factual. It's going into details. A lot of us, we don't talk like that. And so
right.
reading the book, it's like, ooh, what is he talking about? And so it does send you down memory lane. It is also assisting us in evaluating those relationships. Um, just what energy? The question you asked during the private group this Wednesday, and shout out to everybody that participates on Wednesday. If you are interested in participating, please let us know. But you were asking, do we remember when our elegant rose was online?
Mm-hmm.
And we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about the clothing that we were wearing at that point. And so it's definitely taking us to the past, which is how you heal. The
Mm-hmm.
only way to heal is to go back to certain points in your life where there was trauma present. We're gonna call it what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's self inflicted or just by chance, and nothing is by chance. Okay, everything is a lesson. And so in those moments, you looking back, I thought about losing my virginity and me
Mm-hmm.
and Lisa. Hey Lisa. We were talking about it. It's like, was that experience the best experience? And for
Mm-hmm.
me, it wasn't. It wasn't. I didn't find anything. I wasn't saying, I'm here to please you. Here I am. None of that. And if you know, you know. It's coming directly from the book. I didn't have that energy on that particular occasion. And I just remember it being horrible. I went home and cried. I couldn't tell anyone. And so yeah, I knew at that point something had been changed. Most definitely. But it's just the book. It's the book for me.
It's the book for me.
It is the book for me.
Right. And if there's anyone that wants to join in and read, we have quite a bit to read,
Mhm.
quite a bit. Please do, put it in the thread and get you up here.
Right, because it okay. Hey Indira. Indira says she's in the building.
Hey.
Um if y'all want to read, y'all can hop on. If y'all don't, we get it. We get it. We're here to do the job. No worries. Chapter 7 is just very long. And so we're gonna keep reading. Whenever we finish, we finish.
Right.
And the lessons, and I feel good about the community. Jennifer had presented the idea of the Wednesday night being open to everybody. And I'm gonna tell on myself. And so I was just saying, like, no, that's our thing. Like, I want to share. we just getting to know each other. And she's like, well, I'm saying, I'm like, you know what? You're right. Because one thing about a Capricorn, they are going to, in fact, assist you in furthering along things that need to be further along. They are the goal. And so sometimes you have to listen, be willing to work. I appreciate you. I do.
Oh, thanks.
I do.
Appreciate you too.
I love me a good old Capricorn. I love you, and this has been fun. We getting to
Well,
know each
thank
other.
you. I
Yeah.
am a Leo though, but Capricorn moon.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And let me read out the difference in those. I call her a Capricorn because for me, I identify really closely to my moon. I know the world sees me as my sun, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my moon is like my true feelings. And so that's why when I learned your moon sign, I'm like, okay, I can understand it a little bit better. And I do see you as a Leo in the world because you're just beautiful to me. You
Oh,
got this
thank you.
array about
You
your energy, the glow. I can see it all. So,
Aw.
but let me share with y'all because everybody don't know what we talking about, and I just posted something on the signs, and so this will be good. Um. Oh wow. Okay. Well, let's just go to it. Maybe I didn't post it. I was I was outside today putting some what do you call the stuff? Mortar. You know how your
Mhm.
bricks and you have to make sure they stay filled in. And so I was doing that outside and the post came up and I really appreciate the post because I'm like, yeah, some people don't know. So your big three, the three pillars of your personality are your sun sign, which is what everybody's told going by your birthday. This is where you find your motivations and passions for life. And so yeah, Leo absolutely makes sense.
Mhm.
And so your moon sign can indicate your emotional self. I am a Cancer rising, so I am emotional. That's another reason I love moon signs. Um, but it helps you it can indicate your emotional self, habits, and past. And so yeah. And
Right.
then
Mhm.
your rising sign is how you show your identity and how others may see you.
Yep.
And so let me put this back up. I need to say,
Mhm.
okay, so how you show up, how you push out, and how you show up to other people. Okay, okay. So the Cancer rising or the ascendant, that's how I show up to other people. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that's how you show up to other people at like
I gotta
first
see.
glance, like you're rising, your earliest without knowing anything about you necessarily. Yes.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, I can see that. Everybody be I'm like the mama of like the whole world. People
Yeah.
literally come here.
I s- I see a lot of your moon comes through and that you are just open and
Mm.
you communicate so well.
Well, thank you.
Like I really appreciate. And then one of the things too just about like your son, I'm really in my head a lot of the times. We talk about that a lot, speaking from elements, but when I before we started, I was like, I don't think we're prepared. I don't feel prepared. You like, well, what you preparing for? We just reading the book.
I'm like, wait a minute.
You just like, let's just do it. I was like, oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I felt bad because I was like, dang, well maybe she just ain't ready. And I was just like, okay, well we
Should be
still
all
talk.
right.
Yeah. I'm like, we gotta start today. I've been building up to today. I gotta get it off. I appreciate you for just like, okay, let's just do it. Cause
Yeah.
it's great. It's just I love the chemistry. And this is one of my dreams, like working with people. And often it doesn't last. I think with
Mm,
reading, you will never get bored because when you're
mm,
reading different stuff, and then we get to bounce those ideas. That's how you become great. You have to bounce your ideas off other
mhm,
people
mhm.
that are in the same vibration as you.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So, okay, we got chapter 7. We're gonna tell y'all what page.
We are on page 88.
88. Okay, and I'm going to take a moment to let my seed know that he can watch a movie, so we won't be interrupted.
Right.
One moment. Okay, so for chapter 7, we are all the way in. We're all the way in, and we've been in here for 2 weeks. This just is something that cannot be rushed through. I thought we were gonna be like, let's get it done. Two and we out there, and it's just not. It can't be rushed through. You have to really take your time and read
Mhm,
it. The rose is so I'm not gonna say delicate, but when you're looking at a rose, you see the layers of that flower and just the beauty of how everything lays.
mhm.
And you can never tell how many layers that are there. I love when my roses sprout. I'm a rose lover. But this chapter is also going, like I said, within your past and your experiences. And it's kind of making us relive them again because now we can go in and know what we're looking at. And so that's the best part about it being so detailed, the rose.
Yeah, and I do think that there is some delicacy there, and that, the elegant rose needs to be treated delicately. Like, there are so many things that can cause damage, just permanent damage. I think that's because it's so early. But yeah.
Yeah. Um, when we were sharing Wednesday night, one of the things that stuck out was just we went into the sound. And so that's what we're gonna start tonight, you all. Tantric mantra. And I'm gonna scoot up to the microphone and I'm gonna drink me some water. Okay, I do y'all a disservice if I don't drink me some water right quick. But yeah, the tantra, the effects of sound. And even when we were reading out, I think that was the first part where he was saying place your tongue on a certain part of your teeth.
Hmm.
And this also impacts an orgasm. That was just like, what?
Yeah.
And so,
And how each note, like musical notes, are associated with the chakra.
right,
Right.
right. But I just never thought. I know and I when I am doing the act, I just am not thinking about my tongue being in a certain spot on my teeth,
I
right?
know, right? I'm sitting here trying to do it now.
Yeah. And so this is good information, I tell you. Yeah, I'm just sending a link to a couple more people and we're gonna get on in there. We're gonna drop the link in the chat. Like you said, if one of y'all wanna read,
Hmm.
please
Yeah.
feel free. Brother Uno, we done asked him to be a part of the group and we ain't seen him no more. We done scared the only male participant off that we had. Come back, Brother Uno. We ain't gonna ask you to do that. Just come back and put your energy back in here now. And shout out to y'all. Drop in the chat where y'all are listening from. Let's get some
Mm-hmm.
energy flowing up in here.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Where are you listening from? Tell us what you think so far about chapter 7. Hey KB.
Arizona. AKB.
Hey Mama Macmillan.
Hi, Mom.
We see. Look, let me text my mama right now. Let me see. I already sent it to her. Okay.
Hey, Safidi.
Hey
Safidi, my sister
Safidi.
friend. Hey,
Hey
Red.
Safidi.
Hey. Marilyn is in the house. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So we all over the stage. Y'all come through. Come through. Okay, so I did get the link sent out to everybody that I knew that had been listening in. Hello to everybody that's listening from Mineral Wells. We have April and Chanel in the building,
Hey,
and
hey.
so we appreciate y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Now tonight we're gonna. Oh no, we gotta plug our businesses. Sorry. Wait a minute. Okay, so you want to go first?
Okay, so I'm gonna be real quick. Soul Sister Beauty skincare line, body butters, hair oils, yoni elixirs. That's a good one. Um, Body polish, all things just natural skincare. Um, and you can go to my website, soulsisterbeauty.com. That's SISTAR. You can follow me on Instagram at The Abundant Sister. You can follow my business page at Soul Sister Beauty.
Okay, and I am Styles by Nina, and that is Styles by Nina LLC. I also do business as Katie's Alchemy, a company that I started to honor my grandmother. She was a gardener, and I just want to bring awareness to the power in gardening. And when we talk about connecting with the ancestors, we have to get back to the action. It's just like people using the word love. If you love someone, it's an action word. You can't just
Mm,
keep saying it. And so for me, honoring the ancestors is getting back to what the ancestors was doing,
mm,
which was outside. My grandmother was a housewife. She was at home and she pretty much was a mom to everybody, Capricorn as well.
mm,
And so I just appreciated that she did garden. That was one of the things that I saw her do. Just some of the natural remedies she used to use. I try to incorporate all of that into Katie's Alchemy. And then Styles by Nina, y'all know this is my baby. This is my first business. I moved to Texas and been on YouTube ever since. And so that is actually how I make connections. We get on here, we meet people, we socialize, we do what
mm.
social media is doing. Capricorn love, okay.
Hey.
Yeah, yeah. I love me a Capricorn. I do. My son is also Capricorn, so that energy. And
Mm-hmm.
most Capricorns are wealthy. So if you are the sum total of the 5 people you surround yourself with,
Yeah.
you gotta have your Capricorn on your starting 5,
Yeah.
okay? Okay, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
So um my links will be in the description. If you need to contact me, I am still teaching sovereignty. You all don't forget you got to get your paperwork in order. The class is 555. I like to be transparent, so if you just go over there and click, that's fine too. It pushes my numbers, but we got to get our paperwork together. If you want to move free in this corporation, you definitely have to take that a little more serious. And I am moving platforms as of April, but it's still available right there on um, Craft Course. craft course is being shut down. I guess they sold the company or whatever happened, and I uploaded it to Udemy. And so the transition will be smooth. It's already over there. I just have to make it live. And y'all, let's get the paperwork together. That's
Hmm.
very important. Let's move forward. We still got to be making progress while we're living in our luxuries. And so, shout out to my gardening class. We will be getting together for impromptu class on Thursday. Thursday night, right before the new moon, we're going to go ahead and get those seeds started. And those of you that need assistance in the ritual, the definition of ritual is a habit that you form and you follow through. And so, what we're doing is doing a manifestation ritual for the Aries season, just things that you are trying to bring about into fruition in the world. And it's like setting your intentions and using candles and herbs to push it on through. So tonight we will be planting, well, Thursday night we'll be planting our basil,
Mm.
and we can do it together. We're gonna do it in the class. I will drop the link in the Patreon. And you all, last but not least, crypto class will be on replay as soon as we get the ritual class done. We want to go ahead and get our intentions out there. And then we're going to do one more replay of the Mastering Crypto class. It's still free. This is the last time I'm going to go through it. So feel free if you want to participate to email me at katiesalchemy@gmail.com. Okay. So, and we're off.
Nina, you are doing it. Look at you. Just that. See, that's that Sagittarius just teaching people how to rise up, right? Just, I love that. Look at
Thank
you.
you. I be thinking I be doing too much,
Mm.
but y'all can get it anyway. I don't care. Okay. So tonight we are reading, or this afternoon, we're reading Tantric Mantra. The chart. Let me share it on the screen. For those of you that do not have the book. All right. And it's a little small, so there you go. The mantra is Ra, and it's pronounced Ra. It increases the blood and energy circulation. It increases the chi flow, which is also yang. That's the purpose of the Ra. Music note: A above middle C. Did you want to play those notes like you did Wednesday?
I can cue them up while you reading. We'll
Okay.
come and we'll play them.
Okay. Ma, and it's pronounced Ma. It increases fertility. You shift more to feminine, which is yin. The feminine energy is the yin energy. And the music note is A above middle C. The next mantra is Yao U. Yao U. It increases sexual energy and drive. This is also a yin energy, which is the feminine. And F plus above middle C is the music note. The next one is KE. KE. And the purpose is it heals your reproductive system. And it is also yin. And the music note is E above middle C. And so these all are feminine energies except for the first one. And it is amazing because when you study the Aramaic language, which was our original language, it's closer to Aramaic. It wasn't Aramaic, but it was close to it. The Ra is the fire. It is the raft. And so that's the only energy here that is masculine, and it's the most powerful as well. Okay, so that is the table. Now, in the table of Were you saying something?
Sorry, yeah, I got the notes if you wanna. Or wait, are we still reading? I got A, F, and E.
Okay.
All right, here, let me sorry, I had to get the F note. So these are associated also with, like I was saying, parts of the chakra. So the A note is the third eye. Let me place this here. Turn it up. So that's the A note. And then this is the E note, which is the solar plexus chakra. That's like at the navel, I believe. And then you've got the F note, which is the heart chakra. Okay, that was the three notes, right? Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Those were the notes that we're looking at in the tantric mantra. Now, in the table above, I have listed four mantra sounds, their general purpose, and the musical note they should be sounding on. A simple and effective means to bring about positive change in your relationship and sexual life is through the use of mantra. The mantras are done alone and in private first. You're going to seat yourself in a quiet place and chant the sound out loud. So you're going to sit yourself in a quiet place and chant the sound out loud. You will repeat each sound in sets of 9. Do 9 and then stop and be still for a bit. Do 9 and then stop and be still. Do sets until about 10 minutes elapse. You may do more than one sound per night. You can do these mantras in the presence of running water for a better effect. Wow. The closer you are to the full moon, the greater the effect. You need to do one mantra for about 10 minutes each day for 7 days before you begin to see the effects. If you are an advanced student familiar with the tree of life, then you will recognize which spirit on the tree will support each mantra. You can then fashion other applications for each mantra. Once you have performed a mantra for a few days, you can take it to the next level. You can do this mantra with the full awakening circle. The larger the group, the more powerful the effect is, or take it to the highest level and chant the mantra out loud in your lover's embrace. Chant the mantra in a slow, steady cadence as you approach each orgasm tier. This will really energize the goal. Place a vision in your head of what you want the outcome of the mantra to be. Chanting the mantra during a love session sets up powerful wave patterns. It attaches a wave pattern or rhythm to your sexual energy. The regimen guide will give more details about this. These four mantras change or redirect the currents of the elemental molecules in your body: nitrogen, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. The elementals are fire, air, earth, and water. The molecules are H2O equals water, C6, H2, glucose, hydrocarbon equals fire, and O2 plus iron, which is blood, equals air, and nitrogen fixed plus various amino acids equals earth. If this makes no sense to you, do not bother about it. Some of the text here is intended for the advanced student. You do not have to comprehend all of this stuff to get the benefits. In the discussion of second puberty, we keep it simple. In simple language, if I can exchange dirty water and put clean, pure, structured water into the woman's cells, I can change the way she experiences arousal and orgasm. If I can exchange the free radicals and damaged glucose in a woman's bloodstream with pure sound, structured glucose molecules, I can change the way she experiences arousal and orgasm. The mantra helps. If you observe some males or females right before they go into climax, you see a point of hesitation and then the body contorts and the climax comes. Some women vibrate while they climax like a shudder, twitch, or undulation. Yeah, I'm just trying to picture all through a shudder, a twitch, or undulation. Okay. Sometimes they twist up their toes or other body parts. These are signs that the body and energy are choking right at the point of climax. The real pleasure and the big climax are choked off because she cannot establish the wave pattern. Here are some examples of the use of a mantra. So now we're finna get into the examples. Here are some examples of the use of a mantra. She would chant the mantra KE to break up fibroid tumors or to reduce inflammation to heal PMS. Wow. So KE, a KE, KE. If she has trouble getting aroused, chant Ra. If the blood is not getting into the small blood vessels, chant Ra. If she has trouble with lubrication, chant either Ya'u or Ma. For more staying power, male or more intense sessions, chant Ya'u near the full moon. More specific uses for each mantra are given during the regimen. The power of the mantra are cumulative. The more days you do a mantra, the more its power grows. Wow. So if you do it 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
This concludes the outline of the technical concepts in the natural sexual ideology. We return now to the main discussion of the awakening of the elegant rose feminine energy. And y'all, I'm speaking up so my sound won't be low in the video, okay? So
You
let me
sound good.
know if I'm too loud.
I think you sound fine.
Okay. Second puberty, Rose edition. The awakening of the Rose archetype begins with the infusion of the catalyst. The next step is energy work. In the supervised regimen, this takes the form of Tantra table work, Qigong, or one of the other styles we have talked about. Each week, there is a new routine of exercises. If you are a member of an awakening circle, you also receive the benefit of those sessions and the specific coaching provided for your individual situation. In about 2 weeks, a typical woman should see changes in her feminine energy. She will start to feel different. These feelings are subtle at first, and then slowly but steadily, the elegant rose starts to make herself known. If this is the first time a woman has felt the presence of the rose, it can be a pretty intoxicating thing. The elegant rose energy is not at all similar to the other three archetypes. It is a dominant, forceful energy. It tends to undermine the cautious, safe mindset. It is daring. It can feel strange and disconnecting to the nice girl type. And we know what the real nice means, the etymology of nice. Look it up. When a woman brings one of the other three archetypes online, it is not such a traumatic event. But when she awakens the roles and sets that girl free, watch all conservative,
Oh,
shy,
you
or
skipped a
passive.
line.
You said what?
I think you skipped a line.
Oh, let me see.
So sets that girl free.
When a
But when she
woman,
awakens, but when she awakens,
okay. When a woman brings one of the other three archetypes online, it is not such a traumatic event. But when she awakens the roles and sets that girl free, watch the hell out. Oh, okay. While the elegant rose energy is a very yin and feminine, it is not at all conservative, shy, or passive. When a woman starts her adult life with any one of the other three archetypes, the treasure chest, the seated hawk, or the moon, then the oncoming of the elegant rose will bring a level of dislocation and internal conflict. As we mentioned in other chapters, the majority of females enter adulthood with a disposition to rely on one type of feminine energy instead of having the use of all four. Thus, her worldview tends to be dominated by one of four dispositions. There are exceptions, of course, but most women fit the rule. So we're gonna go over these. Give me a minute. Um, I need one moment so that I can play this message. So what you think, Jennifer?
so one of the things that stand out is the question has come up just in our reading, like what is this regimen that is being talked about? I think we'll find out hopefully as we continue to read the book, as terms of what are the proper mantras to how what's the proper way to say them. I guess I know we've got these chants, so is it just is it that we are chanting these mantras at a particular musical note
Right.
over and over again?
Yeah, and I
Is that the
suggested.
understand?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying I think that's the understanding, but there's all this other energy work that I'm not clear on and how to find it, but I'm ready to. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it.
Right. And I suggested that if you find the notes, you download the notes to your phone and then record yourself and add yourself as a layer over the notes. And I think that would help too because you're listening to it and that'll help you become better at it. And then you could feel the vibration of your own voice. So
Hmm.
it's just like programming yourself. Okay, so we're gonna get into the elegant rose. They are driven by a worldview defined by pleasure and sensory experience. Life to them is like a game show. They want to have fun and be festive. They are concerned with such things as dress, appearance, hair, etc. The treasure chest. They are driven by a worldview defined by money and status. Life to them is like a treasure hunt. They collect information and seek higher education. The career is important. Social standing is important. They watch the news and want to know more than their peers. The moon archetype. They are driven by a worldview defined by feelings and they are humanitarian. They care about people. They earnestly desire to become mothers. They are concerned and sometimes obsessed with security issues. The seated hawk. Okay. They are driven by a worldview defined by control. Life to them is a contest or race. They seek competition. They view peers and even males as adversaries. They seek some occupation or avenue which gives them an advantage over other women. They desire to be the queen or the queen bee. Now, we should take into account that a woman's personality is not static and rigid, but changes as she grows older. Thus, a woman over 35 may not align with the worldviews above as well as a woman of 21. Nevertheless, it should be obvious that all three archetypes of the moon, the seated hawk, and the treasure chest are going to have a problem with Miss Rose. That is human nature. Some women like to hate, and there is no type they like to hate on more than Miss Rose. So what happens when hold on y'all. I'm laughing because when we did Wednesday night, we discussed this part. And I was just sharing with everyone that it is true. Like everybody loves to hate on anybody displaying the elegant rose with confidence. And we all agreed that sometimes that comes from you not having that confidence within yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really just, as Nas would say, confused admiration. Like, just
Right.
admiring the fact that this woman is just embracing and completely fearless about everything about her
Yes,
outward
yes.
appearance. So,
She walk in a room and you can see a little group in the corner
like, look
chattering.
at her.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, I'm gonna start back. That is human nature. Some women like to hate, and there's no type they like to hate on more than Miss Rose. So, what happens when you see these women start bringing the Rose attributes into their own personality? So, what happens then? Okay. So, I think you can see where I'm going with this. Some of the young women with the Rose energy are vain, self centered, lazy, and deceitful. They have not balanced it with the other archetypes yet. From examining the worldview of the moon archetype, it should be clear that she would have a big problem with the elegant rose type. The moon types tend to be conservative, the rose type is not. The moon type women are some of the biggest critics of the rose type women. So, what happens when a woman starts to become the very thing she used to disdain? Maybe she is going to be a little resistant, you think? You're right. You're very right. The moon type wants to save the world, feed all the children, release all the prisoners, and shut down all the hot night spots. The rose wants the whole world to admire her hot new look. In her mind, children should be seen and not heard. She wants to date some of the prisoners and party at all the hot spots. Are you getting a picture here? And shout out to all the prisoners. I'm gonna be the one to say it. Shout out to all the handsome prisoners. If y'all don't know, they have locked up all of our men, and they look like beautiful specimens. Okay,
Mm,
my husband did 22 years. In that time, he earned 4 degrees. And shout out to him. You know, I
mhm.
love men that are not broken easily. Because to be locked behind bars is a big thing. So we want to show everybody that is incarcerated some love. Shout out to those of you that support your loved ones that are and have been incarcerated as well. Okay, yeah. Um, so I'm just thinking. So she thinks that children need to be seen and not heard. What do you feel about it? 'Cause, like,
Because I don't know, perhaps because it just takes away some of the attention.
mm, okay, I can see that.
Hmm.
So do you think that will be women that don't absolutely want children? They have made up in their mind.
Yeah, like it could be something as seen as just uh something that causes restraint. Like you can't, go about in the world and do whatever you want. Like your life can be seen as ending. That freedom piece ends for quite some time. And
Mm,
so if this elegant rose is not used to being tied down, then yeah, I could totally see why children would not at all be of interest
wow.
whatsoever.
That makes sense. I didn't even think about that. Because after I had my seed, I did feel like, dang,
It's over.
it just can't take over. You
It's a
like,
wrap.
golly. Yeah. Okay. So that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it says, are you getting the picture here? So what happens when you combine these two women who used to hate each other? With the seated hawk and the treasure chest, there are similar conflicts with the rose energy. There are two markers or signals that the master feminine faculty has begun to bring the elegant rose into your feminine profile. You can tell that the elegant rose energy is trying to rise up when you find yourself hungrier for attention than usual. You will also notice that you become very much more sensitive to your surroundings. You desire to be surrounded by fine furniture, fine art, sweet music, soft, beautiful fabrics, etc. And if your bathroom and kitchen are not well appointed, they will begin to disgust you greatly. You will strongly desire to upgrade them. You will feel an urge to wear outfits that are a bit erotic or risque. Because women with the elegant rose thing going on like to be beautiful, like to be seen, and love to be admired. This is the
Nina, just real quick, just to
okay.
chime in on the question you were talking about with children.
Mm-hmm.
So, mom says children get attention wherever they are, no matter what. But an elegant rose desires all the attention from everyone. And that's just kind of like what you were just reading about. Women with the elegant rose, they like to be beautiful and be seen and be admired.
Mm-hmm.
And I can imagine children may. It,
Put a
mm,
put a damper on that. And I
mhm.
think about too the women that have had children and they hate their stretch marks or their bodies afterwards because it's
Yeah.
a trauma really. And so that puts in like a deeper perspective for me. So yes, Miss McMillan, that's absolutely correct. They do get attention everywhere they go. And then the elegant rose, she wants attention from everyone. Yeah. Okay. So the second one, your pleasure profile will change. At first, it begins slowly. If you are single, you may not notice at first. The same stuff feels different to you now. Fabrics feel rough. People with uncouth voices become intolerable. If you are in public and men pay attention to you, it will give you a rush more than it did before. Your orgasm will come with a bang. If it was bang before, it will be a much bigger bang this time. Your erogenous zones on your body come alive. It is like someone reached into your body and turned up the dial. The taste of food is more intense. And basically, the sensitivity meter on your sensation detectors have been cranked up.
So, this is saying that once you have done the mantras and the energy work, and you have, let's just say, a suppressed elegant rose, then these are the things that start to happen as it awakens.
Absolutely. These are the two markers or signals that the master feminine faculty has begun to bring the elegant rose into your feminine profile.
Wow. So,
So,
fabrics, tone of voice, the type of attention, orgasm will come with a bang. Okay. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
So, for me, I was speaking on this as a time about last year. I was like, you know what? I don't want any more fake materials on my skin. And so I
Mm,
said it last year, but this year I'm gonna go ahead and put some action behind it. I had just been looking for silk dresses, and I found this beautiful, I mean, this lady, and I haven't shot with her because I just still be in my mind like even our materials are colonized, okay?
mm,
But I cannot deny the beauty of every dress. I know when I put this thing on, the feminine elegant, she is gonna rise up, baby. So,
activate.
yes, so I cannot wait. It is my intention to wear more dresses. I was telling the group on Wednesday night that my grandmother didn't believe in wearing pants, females wearing pants. And so now reading this book, it just put things into perspective because in those jeans, there's something kind of shut off of the root chakra
Mm-hmm.
and the energy in that area. And I don't think you're supposed to suppress that particular area and confine it to some pants,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know. It could be out there, but that's my goal. Nothing but dresses, and I want them to fit my shape. I intend to buy a sewing machine, so if I have to take it in certain spots, I need to, because the dresses that I find they're okay, they're just not for my body,
Mm-hmm.
and so it just makes a difference. But yeah, those are the two things you're gonna be looking for. Where am I reading up to?
Where would you definition of a wife? How about that? Maybe that's a good stop
Are you sure?
on
I thought it
93.
was a
We can go back and forth.
the non-orgasmic female.
That works too. You want to read up to the non-orgasmic female?
Nah. Girl, you know we're here for your voice.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
these changes can sneak up on a woman. There is a general opposition to people who are too intellectual and logical. There is the tendency to downplay mundane things and dismiss rules. She may become bored more easily and react with less patience to traffic jams, hospitals, and people who cannot live up to the expectations. Mm. So people that can't live up to her expectations, she's very short with them. We'll say that. Okay, so if the elegant rose was the first archetype to come forward out of the first puberty, a woman may not express herself well in a verbal way. She seems less intelligent. The rose woman is image driven and creative in aspect. Go with this. Stop using your words. Use your body language and riddles. It is part of the rose mystic. Know that this may drive your left brain yang girlfriends crazy. So this brings up two challenges a woman will be faced with when this part of her awakens more fully. Number one, will she allow the expression of her beauty in a sensual context? In other words, will she allow herself to be projected in an erotic fashion? Two, will she give pleasure without guilt and fear? Can she receive pleasure without guilt and fear? In making any transition, a main sticking point is to continue to identify with what you used to be while you are in the process of changing into something else. Let me say that one more time. That was
Okay.
heavy. In making any transition, a main sticking point is to continue to identify with what you used to be while you are in the process of changing into something else. For females who did not start their adult life with the elegant rose thing going on, the erotic thing and the pleasure thing seem to be tough to express. They start to feel the energy and immediately put on the brakes. If the woman is young and very attractive, the transition is moderate, moderately difficult. So if the woman is young and very attractive, the transition is moderately difficult. Men would be surprised to know how many gorgeous women are uncomfortable with their looks. But if the woman is older or if she believes her looks are only average, this transition can be a serious challenge. But the energy demands expression. And if you do not express it, then you will find yourself in the same position as your first puberty. Y'all, we can't just glide through. I'm gonna just stop right here. Cause what I was thinking about is just like coming up, I can see my role shut down because I did not feel comfortable with the energy that I was receiving from the world. I'll say because it wasn't just males. And so I think I shut that down just because, oh, that was too much for me. Or maybe I didn't know what to do with that energy. Maybe I put too much out there. We was talking about
Hmm.
um Jenny Marie asked us when our divine, well, our elegant rose came online. And like I said, we were talking about our outfits because we were expressing it outwardly. That's what it is.
Yes, yes.
And so I shared that I had a sunflower dress. It was a skirt set, matter of fact, and everything wrapped. So if you can picture that in your mind, it was very, very frilly. I felt the girly in me when I wore it, and I would have these heels on. And but the world just isn't okay with you being the elegant rose because you
Mm,
will get funny looks, and then sometimes you'll go somewhere and you don't feel comfortable because people make you feel uncomfortable in what you have chosen to put on. So I just remember that, but I remember the outfit. I can picture it in my mind clearly. It was beautiful to me. And so, did you want to share?
yeah, well, something that I don't know that we went into depth about on Wednesday was really, I guess, what made it memorable, like how we felt,
Right.
right? And so I was telling everybody that I had like some jeans and a top that was like a really tight fitting Calvin Klein shirt. It was yellow, like canary yellow with white cap sleeves, and I didn't wear no bra. Sorry, mom. And I was really feeling myself, but it was obviously to get the attention of I think I was a sophomore in high school, and I was trying to get the attention of this senior because I was like an underclassman and I wasn't really sure, like there were all these really pretty girls and they were older and same grade and everything. But I remember that I didn't really capture any of his attention. Like he wasn't checking for me. And I was just like, dang,
Oh
man.
yeah, you didn't
I
get
did
into that
all that.
part.
But yeah, I think that's probably what makes it so memorable is just how you feel. Like
Mm-hmm.
I felt it was just kind of like a high and low. Like I felt really good. And that just makes me think about what different avenues of shutting the elegant rose, what those are, like shutting it down.
Mm-hmm.
And it could possibly be self-inflicted as well, that's shutting down. I mean, it's still based off of your experiences, but
Mm-hmm. Right. Absolutely. And so it's saying here that each woman must build her own bridge to cross this gap. It is about your intention. It is about your definition of yourself. And so in those moments we felt
yeah,
feminine.
yeah.
And so it is time for some new definitions. This just told you that if you do not embrace that elegant rose and express itself, because some people can't get past the clothes. You just don't feel comfortable, whatever it is, but you have to express the energy, and that's exactly what's being said here. If you don't express it, then you're gonna go through your second puberty the same way you did your first puberty, which threw your energies off balance, which is where we are now. So yeah, this is so good.
I know it is good. Thanks, Mom. She said,
Oh,
are you reading definition of a wife?
it just warms my heart.
Uh, let's see.
No, you can go ahead and pick up.
Okay, this was triggering for me. I'm not going to say triggering. Let me just read. Definition of a wife. As a wife, a female is a pleasure generator. The elegant rose energy deals with the experience of pleasure. If we review chapter 1, some basic concepts about femininity were introduced. If the main business of life is experience and the sexual relationship is an energy relationship, then what is the natural role of the female in the sexual partnership? The female is a pleasure generator. That is her main business. That is the main criteria by which men choose her. That is the major challenge of her role as a wife. If she fails to generate pleasure, the relationship fails. If she intends on elevating her energy level, it starts by accepting what you were meant to be, even if you have not become that thing yet. I do not believe most women see their role in a relationship this way, and that is partly why they fail. Okay, so the amount at which a woman is able to generate pleasure, that is the criteria for which they are by which they're chosen, right? Okay. Let's say, for example, that you own a fruit farm and you think your business is farming. You invest in farming equipment, you plant the seeds, you pick the fruit and put it into baskets, but you fail to advertise. No one knows you're in business. You sit there all day and no one comes to buy any of your fruit. You are not in the farming business. You're in the fruit marketing business. That is your real business. When you understand that, you put ads in the paper and set up a road stand, and then people actually start buying your fruit and they like it. And this is where so many Amazon women are today in their sexual attitudes. They think being a mate in a relationship is some sort of social position where the woman is the male's companion, friend, and support partner. No, the woman is the male's no, Daffy Dorothy. It is all about pleasure. You are his catalyst for pleasure. And if you do that job right, all else tends to fall in place. Men cheat either because their wives do such a poor job of pleasure generation or because the men themselves cannot receive or give pleasure. Most of the women we have defined as the Amazon women do not seem to know this. But if a woman wants to maintain a high energy level, she had better learn it. A female sexual partner is a pleasure generator. That is the main aspect of this role. If a woman aspires to achieve a sustainable relationship with her soulmate, she must use her feminine energy to generate adequate levels of pleasure for herself and then for him. The full awakening of her elegant rose faculty causes her to receive pleasure through the very act of giving pleasure. This is the key. Everything she does that gives her husband pleasure also gives her pleasure. This is so important to understand. Thus, the women who have not yet brought the elegant rose archetype forward are in a catch-22 situation.
Hold on, hold on. We can't just breathe. Listen, how do you get to the point where you are giving, and it's just a pleasure. uh It's just a pleasure for you to give. How do you get there?
That
Maybe
that
no. Go ahead.
that's just it. Like you, right. How do you continue to give without just even thinking about what you will be receiving from your partner? And I think that on Wednesday we talked about like giving pleasure. That is what I do, right? And for me, at first, I was just like thinking of it sexually, like I'm just supposed to be doing all types of sex stuff and not getting what. But what I started to think about as we read further along is that just being pleasant is
Mm-hmm.
an act of bringing pleasure, right? And
Mm-hmm.
having speaking kindness and
Mm-hmm.
being patient, and those are things of that can bring pleasure pleasure and peace. um
So I think here, and I'm gonna be the one to fess up to it. I say this all the time. Um, Holding myself accountable, it made me look at, have I been the one that's creating peace, or am I causing racket and ruckus and stress around my home? And
yeah.
so yeah, this was triggering.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So what do
like
you mean I'm supposed to be generating pleasure?
yeah.
Mom said it's almost like being programmed, like to bring pleasure, being programmed to generate pleasure. Is that what you talking about?
I mean, cause I get it. I am pleasing because I cook, I clean. These
Mm-hmm.
things are done.
Mm-hmm.
But to just come to a point, and when I'm doing these things, and that's why I'm practicing when I'm cooking, putting love into it. Not like, dang, well, no, I
Mm-hmm.
do. Dang, well, I gotta cook. I gotta think. I think back to 9 years of deciding what we gonna eat. I was over it.
Yeah.
And so now I'm believing in putting myself in a position to where if that's too heavy, it's not me fussing about it to everybody else, but making a decision for that to be contracted out to someone else. Shout
Mm-hmm.
out to Hello Fresh. If you need a code, I got you. If you want a free box, I got you. Let me know. I can put the code in the comments. It has helped me in my life greatly because I do not want to be the one to decide on a daily what we're eating. I have more things going on
Mm-hmm.
than to be elected for that position. And then the second thing I like about it is because then it's healthier choices because you are cooking every day. It's just not taking the same amount of time as it usually would for me. I'm from the South. I cook full Southern meals. So I had to lay up off that. It's just too much. You're cutting up all your stuff. It's just all
Cutting
the
all everything.
listen. And so I like to keep it light. I've decided that yeah, that's okay for sometimes, but constantly me doing all that. And then you like, well, how does it taste? It was like, what? All right. Wait a
Right.
minute.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
yeah, don't be me because it made me think about like, am I creating harmony and peace, or is there constant anxiety in the household because of me? Am I creating anxiety when you
Mm-hmm.
can just create your own reality? You can shift that energy to fit exactly what it is that you want. If you need more time for you and you need a housekeeper to come in once a week, don't feel bad about that.
Yeah.
It's not my thing, but I'm not saying that I never would do it because now you can get somebody to come in $40, do exactly what you need to be done, and you could be doing something else.
Mm-hmm. We got to create leverage for ourselves
Mm-hmm.
so that we have the energy to continue to generate pleasure,
Mm-hmm.
and that we're not feeling like we have to, or it's a program, and we do have the energy to actually feel like generating pleasure. And
Right.
yeah, I get it.
Right. And empowering yourself, like, yeah, you want to be the woman of yesterday, but if you create your own reality, you got to do that thing times 10.
Hmm.
You like, okay, and make it easier for yourself. I think us as women or people in general, we don't show ourselves enough grace. And so those are some areas that you can show yourself some grace. But okay. All right.
Okay. Okay, so the women who have not yet brought the elegant rose archetype forward are in a catch 22 situation. Since they do not have the trait yet, giving pleasure does not yet bring them pleasure. But to awaken the trait, she must live according to the truth of the energy. The rose archetype increases our capacity to experience pleasure. In the process, it changes the way we generate and move energy in our body and auric field. If you had not brought the elegant rose energy forward before, you may not be used to getting your share of pleasure. The man in your life may not be giving you all the pleasure you desire, but you must push through the transitional phase where it seems you are giving pleasure without getting your share back. So it's saying push through it. You got to just push through that part. Eventually, you find that it matters less what your man is doing. Soon, you will be getting what you desire because the change coming through in you is bringing about a change in him. That is the secret to awakening the rose energy.
Man, you better pass
So
the
what you
collection plate. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So what you think? Like that's changing your own habits, changing what you do on a day-to-day basis, your rituals,
Mm-hmm.
right? Changing that will ultimately bring a change in your partner. You don't need to focus on what they're doing, just
Mm-hmm.
focus on getting right.
Mm-hmm.
Like Safidi was saying, you definitely have to make sense for the energy to create the pleasure. It's a must.
Mm-hmm.
And that is making that I think that's really making space for yourself.
Yes.
Hmm.
Absolutely. And when you
Hmm.
said push through, I did get mad. But I'm like, now it reminds me of being strong. It's like,
Right.
you know, but if this is the desired result, it definitely makes you want to give it a try. Because if you can get through that little part, it's worth it. Yeah.
Right. Cause you like, I'll try anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
Okay. The sexual relationship is a spiritual energy thing more than a physical thing. What keeps people stuck in the inferior experience of sex is the focus on the physical. It is their focus on the mundane aspects of their life. How do I look? Am I cute enough? Is he cute enough? What will my friends think? The way you look is very important, but if you get the energy broadcast right, the looks will follow. When you start to generate pleasure in the act of giving pleasure, your subconscious will start to make your body get into shape. Let us look again at the rose broadcast. So the rose attributes are pleasure seeking, joyous, beautiful, sensual, artistic, and carefree. The rose broadcast in the positive is I am pleasing. Look at this good stuff. I am ripe with fruits, waiting to be picked. Pleasure me, be pleased by me. The rose broadcast in the negative is I do not value men. I am hard to please. Yes, I attract and entice, but I will not please you without attaching conditions to giving pleasure. To maintain high energy levels requires that you feed the rose energy. To kill this energy in yourself, you only have to feed the opposite of the attributes above. Whatever energy you feed through your thoughts and actions is the thing you will become. What you feed is the thing that will grow in you. The vessel of your spirit cannot contain the sexual energy until you stop the leaks and clear out the clogs in the auric field. No matter how much energy you or your man generates, it will not result in a true and lasting increase in your sexual pleasure and relationship success until you stop depleting the energy by feeding the things which destroy it. I call such things breaks, blocks, and choke points. If a woman addresses these things once her sexual energy is raised, it will stay up for a long time on its own. To become the rose, you must live and act in accord with her attributes. You must reject the parts of you which reject the rose. To become the rose, you must begin to broadcast the attributes of the rose and weave this state of mind into the fabric of your being. The non orgasmic female. According to published reports, very few women experience a full vaginal orgasm with a male partner with any degree of regularity. In fact, many adult females experience orgasm only at an infrequent rate. I do not think anyone is surprised by this statement. If I am to believe what I read and hear, then there's a large segment of women out there who are, for the most part, non orgasmic. And we just finished saying that women are pleasure generators. So let us say this one more time. Women are energy beings, for it is not the physical contact between vagina and penis which cause the main pleasing sensations. It is the stimulation or the reflex transmissions or the energy which flows between the male and female that generates all the good sensations and wild orgasms. Physical contact between genitals, where the spirit force is absent, will generate about the same level of sexual pleasure as a good hug. So, am I to understand that orgasms are not being achieved because it's not energy based? The act of the sexual act is not based in energy.
Um, that and it just makes me think about how we went over the what was it called? The reflexology of the vagina. Um,
Mm,
that too, and just yeah, the energy. Cause I know me personally, and y'all, I'm just gonna share it and I'm moving forward. That's not something that naturally. Give me one moment.
yeah. So right. So Safidi, like the negative side, the on the mantras, right? Thinking a lot of mainstream hip hop lyrics, like these are things that we are sometimes repeating to ourselves, right? In a mantra over and over again, that negative side. That's crazy. Like when you think about that. And so what I was saying from an energy level is that if it's a low level of energy in that you're really not connecting with them beyond the physical, then you end up having like a just lackluster orgasm or one at all.
Right, right. And I was gonna, that's what I was about to say. For me, it's just not a lot. It's not frequent,
Mm-hmm.
and those that's one of the things. Like, how can you ever become content with that? Just knowing that it could or could not be more. This book is bringing a lot of light, and then it makes you think about how your energy is being given off for you not to have that on a regular. And
Right.
so it's deep.
Okay. Women suffer today because they have a basic problem with the concept of giving pleasure to a male. Let me continue.
Read that one more time so you can clear it on out your energy.
So, oh, okay. Women suffer today because they have a basic problem with the concept of giving pleasure to a male. Men are the same way. Our society is the same way about money, property, political power, and human rights. It is the old scarcity model thing. We fool ourselves into thinking that if we have power over something, we can deny others the right to enjoy it and increase its value. We look hot and we got the good stuff, so if we play hard to get, our stuff is more valuable. Wrong, Daffy Dorothy. Math lesson number one: when you subtract from a whole quantity, there is a net loss. When you have a whole society of people believing that the more they subtract from the whole, the more there will be for them, sooner or later the laws of math will catch up to them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It has. Your sex life is a casualty. Damn. In chapter 3, we talked about money, power, and religion. Now you know where all the orgasms went. You know why the pleasure generators are not putting out much pleasure. And there's nothing that says choosing the natural path is always the best choice. Maybe it is okay to give up our good, juicy orgasms so 5% of the population can be rich. Maybe it's okay to give up 1 hour bliss sessions and the healing which comes with it so that the elite can control and govern us. Maybe the high divorce rate is something we just need to get used to. It is a small price to pay so that our patriarchal culture can instill fear in us through religious dogma. Women embrace fear so much they cannot bear to even talk about sex, much less freely feel free to enjoy it. But maybe this is okay. You think? What do y'all think? Y'all so
I don't
mm,
like the Daffy. What?
the Daffy Dorothy.
First of all, and he said, "Your this is why the orgasms are now a casualty." Mm, that's deep.
Okay. Um okay, so let's talk about the violin.
What do you think about it?
I just, you know what? I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about how all of our orgasms are tied to money, power, and religion, and have replaced those things have changed the dynamic of our ability to receive and give pleasure.
Wow, that's
It
true.
is, it's a lot to digest. It's a
We
lot to
we
say.
over complicated things.
Yeah. I mean, you are like we've talked about before. I think in one of the negative broadcasts of the archetypes, I think it was it the treasure chest. One of them was about you are going to need to compensate me in some kind of way in order for me to give you the
Mm-hmm.
things that you need. I'm going to need to be paid. If you want to be given attention, I need to be paid.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole money, power, and religion. And those things have replaced our ability to achieve full orgasm. Okay. Okay. Um, the violin. In a book I read long ago, the author referred to the woman's vagina as a violin. And in a work from an ancient Asian culture, the woman's womb was equated to the string instrument played with the hands. Are there similarities between the vagina and a fine musical instrument? It is said that the design of the violin was inspired by the curves of a woman. The sound made by a violin is thought by some to reflect the female emotions of humanity. And perhaps the man can be thought of as the bow used to play her violin. Romance has always been connected with the arts. We make love to music, we dance in the clubs. Romance cannot be separated from the arts. The Elegant Rose is about the sensory experience. Our sexual experience is affected by everything that our senses come into contact with. Everything that we see, hear, smell, or touch either increases or decreases our capacity to experience sexual pleasure. We cannot separate our sexual appetite from the rest of our life. The more a woman or man refines and uplifts their worldview of sex, the more they will come to appreciate the metaphor of of the vagina as a violin.
So if you could say without the orgasm, an instrument that the world is currently hearing, what instrument would it be?
Wait, say that again now. Say that again.
So if this is in order, excuse me, if this is in order and the woman's vagina is a violin, being that it's out of order, what instrument do you think the world is hearing with the lack of orgasms and all of this?
Mm, I don't know.
I think about the violin. It's always been one of my favorite instruments, that and the harp. And so when I think about the violin, it's very gentle and it's also delicate. The sound, if someone is playing it right, it's just,
Hmm.
you can feel that vibration. And so the opposite side of the spectrum or the pole would be to me the electrical guitar.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, it's just like, the world hearing the electrical guitar from just women all over because of lack.
Yeah, I was thinking of like heavy metal.
Mm-hmm.
It was either that or you just don't hear a sound at all because nothing's happening.
Right. Right.
Oh, mom said drums. Yeah,
The drums would be what, the heart chakra.
that's
Yeah,
where I would put it.
yeah. And I don't think being that it's so out of balance that there's a lot of healing going on. Because if you're thinking about it, this is healing on top of healing.
Hmm.
We know that we weren't taught or structured properly in sexual affairs, because if so, everybody would be able to go through those 4 stages. Wasn't it 4 stages that you go through
Yeah, the four pre-stages.
of an orgasm? Nobody that I know has ever walked me through. You know how you talk to your girlfriend? Nobody has ever walked me through the 4 stages. Nobody. So that was my first time even hearing of that.
Mm.
But yeah, okay.
You want me to continue to up to belly dance?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, female beauty as erotic art. It is okay for a woman to look good. It is okay for a woman to be beautiful. It is okay for a woman to express herself sometimes as erotic and seductive. It is okay. When something is good, we should not treat it like it is bad. Beauty is good. Even if the female has an evil disposition, that does not make her beauty bad. Women must stop punishing other women for looking good. We must remove the stigma attached to the woman in the sex industry. Models, calendar pinup girls, Playboy bunnies, video girls, even strippers, prostitutes, and porn queens are isolated from the mainstream of women. The vast majority of these women came into adulthood with the elegant rose energy awake as their primary archetype of feminine energy. These females are born into a patriarchal society that does not value them. Men wish to abuse them, possess them, and ignore their other virtues. In response, so many of them choose to make a living in the sex industry. It is important that these two groups of women be connected back together. Many of these women mature and desire to take other options later, but the door is often closed. And the mainstream group of women needs the elegant rose types to balance the female ecosystem. When the two groups are disconnected, neither group evolves. Can you see that? The reason the sex industry exists at all is because there is such a large group of Amazon women. It is because the master feminine faculty is shut down prematurely that the sex industry has such a large customer base. The situation with males is the same. Women dress in one of two ways. One, they dress like a magnet to attract energy to them, or two, they dress like a shield to repel energy away from them. So this is what we were talking about with the clothing on
Right.
Wednesday. A fashion model, a clown in a circus, or a stripper in a strip club are examples of magnet dressing. A judge, a doctor, or a woman in a business suit are examples of shield dressing. Today, most women in modern society dress to shield themselves. They are in the business of repelling male energy away from themselves. And there is no blame in this. With society in the state that it is in, women must be careful about how they present themselves. There are dress codes, the job requires a certain dress, there is the security issue and the sense of what is appropriate. Nevertheless, the rose energy is what it is, and the elegant rose energy is not in accord with shield dressing, the current popular choice. You must present the face that matches the type of energy you are trying to encourage to flow. For example, if a woman was trying to manifest the treasure chest archetype, she would dress for success. But the elegant rose archetype is a magnet dresser. She wants to attract attention to herself in an unmistakable way. Her broadcast is, I am sweet, ripe fruit, waiting to be picked. Please me, be pleased by me. Her motive of dress is Her motive of dress has more to do with decoration, seduction, and art. She is not concerned about style the way this culture thinks of style. The underlying theme of her dress code is erotic. In the in the rose motif cloth is not more beautiful than the bare flesh.
Mm.
Flesh is alive, cloth is dead. In fact, in the most pure expression of this energy, she probably would not wear very much at all. She might put some flowers in her hair, a lace brassiere, wrap a little printed cloth around her hips, and head out to the mall. Well, that is not going to do it for today's woman. So we have a dilemma. A woman sabotages her energy when she presents a face that is in conflict with the energy she is trying to carry. But keeping with the energy in this case may create some bigger problems. Every woman will have to deal with this issue in the best way that she can. If you change your attire to reflect a more seductive and erotic woman, you may feel silly or insecure. Maybe you feel like you need to lose 10 pounds before you can dress a certain way. Stop sabotaging yourself. The beauty starts inside, it is the energy. Let your mind express what you want to be, and soon the body should follow. The elegant rose archetype of the feminine energy is not concerned about your pride, does not care about where you work or what your children or girlfriends may think. It wants expression. It wants to generate pleasure and beauty. To raise the rose energy, you must lose your fear of being the center of attention. Let me let me read that one more time.
Mm-hmm.
To raise the rose energy, you must lose your fear of being the center of attention.
Wow.
That's the magnet dressing. And I'm not necessarily talking about clothing, but just the act of rejecting being the center of attention, not wanting a whole bunch of attention to
Hmm.
be
Which
on
is
that.
essentially playing yourself down.
Right.
That's if it sounds, it feels like jail to me, and that has been always my thing. Growing up, I was very shapely, and so I did get a lot of attention, and it wasn't a thing to me. It didn't change who I was, but like some of my friends when they would do stuff, I wouldn't speak on it, but that doesn't mean I didn't notice. And so
Mm,
in that, I remember just feeling like, well, dang, maybe if me being me and being the elegant rose makes my friend feel uncomfortable, maybe I should rethink that thing. And that's just
mhm.
not where you should be. And yeah, I can just, I'm playing back when we read about how just like women love to hate on the elegant rose. If
Yeah.
you are firmly standing yourself, because for me, I didn't even realize that I had a shape. And others realized it. And so it just wasn't about that for me. But I do remember shutting it down a lot throughout my younger years, just trying to make other people feel comfortable. And so that is just like the I guess the trials and tribulations of society, what we do to our girls.
Right. How about the part where it says that the reason why the whole sex industry exists
Mm-hmm.
is
Wow.
because of Amazon women, or the shutting down of this particular archetype, the rejection
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
of
Um
being the center of attention.
Everybody know Atlanta is the strip club scene, okay? You have one of the hottest scenes. And so a lot of me and my homegirls, just over time, we would go to the strip club all the time. And so it is a lot of wealth there. That scene in itself is like they have their own class.
Mm.
And so that leads to what I'm looking at, like moving here. When I moved to Texas, Texas has a lot of swingers. And so that too goes, it's like a stretch out from that same scene. And so even in Atlanta, you have all these clubs. You have clubs you can go in, these places where you have to be a couple, and this is big money. It's not talked about, but it's a lot of
I
money.
had no idea Texas had a lot of swingers. No clue.
Well, let me take that back. I'm from Georgia. Shout out to Atlanta. East Point to be, specific. But no, maybe it's the energy I put out because I do come from that scene. And
Let
so
me
maybe
find out it's you the whole time.
just giving Texas a bad rep. Yeah. So let me clean that up. Maybe that's the energy I was coming
Uh,
to Texas with. But yeah, I was like, dang, who would have thought these people are down here in whole open marriages? And it is. It
it's
is what
very
it
real.
is. And in that scene, that's why I like Candy, Burris from Escape. I love that she is not afraid to put on those type of shows. Like, can
Hmm.
you imagine the energy in there?
Hmm.
Kind of steamy. Can you imagine? It's like what? So,
Oh. Okay. 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 Here we go. The rose is pleased when men stare at her cleavage. She wants men to stop and gawk when she walks into the room. It is not vanity and it is not ego. It is an energy thing. A mango does not hide itself on the tree. It
mm,
hangs there in clear view because it wants to be eaten. It wants to be picked. When it is ripe, it advertises this fact by turning a bright color so all can know that it is ripe and ready. A flower does not hide its petals, they are displayed. And if you are not magnet dressing, then you are sabotaging your rose aspect of the feminine energy.
Mm.
By dressing in a provocative way, the woman is forced to confront some of her issues about sex and pleasure. Once she finishes with this phase, she can go back to a more subdued style of dress.
So how long does the phase last? Would you say?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know if you have to hit a certain mark.
We bringing this out for the rodeo. We moving this thing for. Listen, she will be there.
Yeah, it's like they, set it out there
Yeah,
on display.
yeah.
Ooh, just the thought of that.
It's liberating. It's freeing.
It is. It is. I imagine there being some nerves associated with it.
Mm-hmm.
Cause a lot of times the opportunity to do that is a place at work, right?
Right,
Like you're at work.
right.
So anyway, um, the beauty thing. If you are seeking to please a man, it starts with how you look. Yes, looks are very important. This is not a news flash to most of you. If you hear a woman say, I do not want a man to just want me for my body, you know right away that she has an issue with her rose.
Mm,
No woman wants to be shortchanged about any aspect of herself, but only women who have a problem giving men sexual pleasure will make a statement like that. Okay, hold on. Let me just
girl, you
go
made
back.
me mad all over again. I got mad. That is my exact statement. So what is happening here?
No woman wants to be shortchanged about any aspect of herself, but only women who have a problem giving men sexual pleasure will make a statement
Mm.
like that. Your
Okay.
mate can never want your body too much. When
Mm,
a normal man looks at an attractive woman, she puts him immediately into a mild state of trance. This is the first step to taking him out of his left brain space and into his right brain space. This is what he needs to tap into his energy thing.
mm,
Stop requiring men to pretend to be civil and respectful in order to get you into bed. This is how men end up with erectile dysfunction, trying to accommodate all these women who get offended when a man looks at their ample cleavage. Let men be honest. The more they can be honest, the better their energy will flow. Now,
mm.
I will say, I don't know how I feel. You can't just up and, get erect out here because you looking at my cleavage now. That's
So
not, I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't know
listen.
that I would receive that well, but maybe that's just me.
No, it makes me think about even at work. And I was thinking about it. It's like, okay, but how society is designed, you will have a creepy creeper waiting at your car somewhere because they thinking you trying to magnetize them.
Yes.
It's like, no, sir. No.
Not no.
Yeah. So maybe if we are practicing this, ladies, maybe take you a shawl to cover. Grandma and them used to have them shawls. Get you a shawl and cover up a little bit while you transitioning from one space to another. I still find this very freeing. Like I said, I'm gonna get me a couple of dresses to start
Mhm.
this, and this is what it is. I'm gonna be honest. The underwear thing. I just feel like none of that is natural. I don't feel like my root chakra or my heart chakra should be in constant restriction. And so a lot of times that's why I be at home.
Mhm.
I'm around here being free. I was that child also growing up. You know, everybody got that one friend that just don't care if she got on clothes or not. So that was
Right.
me. You better be able to be comfortable because I'm finna be free around here. And so me and my sister was talking about that on Wednesday night as well. Um, yeah, this is deep.
Yeah. So perhaps this when they're talking about stop requiring men to pretend to be civil and respectful in order to get you into bed. If this is your man and you are holding him to that type of standard, like, oh my gosh, you so nasty, like maybe that's the part you want to stop doing. Like, just let him be, let him be nasty. That I can see, but a random look, he said,
Yeah.
who's get into the root of it all. Take them draws off. Yes.
Brother Uno is back
Oh,
in the building
he's
with the
back.
masculine energy. Come through.
He's back.
Yeah, and I feel bad because this is me. You know, went right back to what I skipped off. You all in my business now. Cause I just feel like, dang, you know, I'm a lady. And so it's like, let them be nasty. I'm like, dang. And then I do shut down that feeling because I feel very vulnerable.
Mm.
And I go by being an OG. So I'm gonna have to retire the dang OG. OG gonna be on the shelf. This is crazy. And so yeah. I think I missed that around my household though. There was a time where I wasn't shutting it. I don't know what I was going through, but just feeling yes, I do. Let me back that up. I do understand. And I'm getting an understanding that I just I wasn't comfortable with that energy.
Mm.
And so you're taught, this is another some residue of the church for me. Just anything that was out of the ordinary was related to the Jezebel spirit.
Mm.
Y'all know how Southern church is now. The Jezebel spirit. And so in my mind, it was just a picture always of how things should be. And so we always hear the term, you want to be a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets. I don't know if y'all, I've heard that. And so, yeah, all of that puts me right back there. And so that's something else I'm going to have to contemplate.
I know. I love how all of this just brings it right back to the self. Like, it don't have nothing to do with anybody else. And this is one of the things that we do that we can do differently
Mm-hmm.
that will bring about that change that we desire in our spouse, right?
Right.
Like this is it. And it's easy, really.
It
It's really
is.
just it's really about letting certain things just let them go
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day.
Somebody told me, I think it was last year, that expectations, or maybe I read it somewhere, but expectations can be a relationship killer
Mhm.
or a killer of dreams because you're not letting things flow naturally the way that they would. And so, yeah, I'm going to get
Okay,
in.
you picking it up.
Yeah, I'm going to get into belly dance. So when the rose energy comes online and starts to invoke sexual attraction, it wants this to be reflected in the beauty of the physical body. It tries to take her body back to her natal template in the DNA. So it's going to take you back. During the regimen period, I recommend all females to engage in belly dance. If not belly dance, then womb dance or pole dancing. If you need to lose weight, this is a good time to do it. Surrounding. The energy of the elegant rose is greatly affected by the surroundings. It is the true purpose of feng shui. If you live in a poverty, there may not be much you can do about your home, car, and workplace. But everything you can touch, see, hear, taste, or smell affects your expression of feminine energy. In the home, it is the bathroom and the kitchen that seem to pose a problem. The rose does not like dirt. The rose does not like colors which do not reflect harmony and beauty. And in home, the rose functions best when there are clean lines of architecture, natural light, natural surfaces, plants, fresh air, and art. Organize your workstation. Feng shui the interior of your home. Place a small water fountain in the hall or something to keep the chi moving. The toilet, garbage can, open meat locker, and damp packed closets are oppressive to the rose energy. The rose hates to live in a dank basement with little light. Get your husband to clean these spaces once a week and keep the garbage can hidden from view and smell. Okay. So it's saying the rose, I guess dank would be what kind of wet. The rose has,
Mhm.
okay. Use high quality incense twice a week to infuse smell. Place fresh cut flowers or live plants, even better, in your space. Erect a small altar somewhere in your home. This is not a religious altar. Place only beautiful things on it. You would be surprised to know how much the mess, disorder, and unpleasant smell of things in your home, car, and workplace can pull down your sexual energy. Wow. When I think of the elegant rose, I remember the rose garden in botanical gardens. The roses were everywhere, climbing, clinging onto trellis and stand. They were all colors. The aroma was heavenly and intoxicating. The beauty was so fierce, it pierced my heart. Tantra healing energy. Tantra energy healing, which is table work. Table work or Tantra energy healing is the main form of energy work used to awaken the feminine energy. Only a male can do this for a female. It is normally done with the female on a massage table. The energy healer projects his field into the woman's auric field using his hands. The male uses his energy to break up blocks and choke points in the female's field. Have you seen the demonstration where a singer uses her voice to break up a crystal glass? The glass shatters as the singer attunes her pitch to the right frequency. When the superior male purifies his energy and builds up his spiritual strength, his vibration gradually matches the original frequency of masculine energy. The abnormal energy in the female body and aura are like foreign structures and do not match the rest of the woman's vibration. And like the glass, they are broken up by the male energy. As the healer moves through her auric field, removing these obstructions, her energy starts to flow better. It is like when a plumber snakes a clogged pipe. Then the healer places his hands on various points on the female body. These points correspond to acupuncture meridian points. He again projects his energy. He again projects energy out of his body and into her meridian system. His energy acts as a catalyst to move her energy along. Depending on the health and age of the woman, there is an increase of energy released. If he can get enough energy to move, then wave patterns begin to establish themselves above her body and in her body. Women report that this feeling is similar to the arousal of floor play. These waves have a healing effect, opening up the reflexology points on her genital map, main acupuncture meridians, organs, and brain stem. If the woman already has the element rose energy online, it is even possible for the woman to have a mild orgasm during a session. In my work, I find that older women often have flashbacks in their minds to times they experienced sexual trauma or sexual joy. In other words, they flash back to an incident that stuck in their memory. It is either very good, it's either very bad or very good. In the case of trauma, this indicates the memory is removed from their cell memory for disposal. Younger women usually experience arousal more intensely and are normally too busy seeking to suppress the arousal to receive the other impressions. In either case, healing occurs. In either case, the healing occurs. After a 2-hour table session, a healthy female will stay in an elevated state of higher libido and higher energy for 2 to 3 weeks. But if she fails to engage in a regimen to address the root issues, she will gradually go back to her previous energy pattern. The best application of table work is at the beginning of a full blown regimen to awaken the master feminine. Men can easily be trained to project energy out of their body. In about 4 months, a man can learn to project some level of energy out of his body. But to do so often requires a radical shift in consciousness and abandonment of false beliefs about the female gender. More than anything, it requires a belief in himself and consistent devotion to the training. The full discussion of table work is presented in the companion book to this, Awakening the Master Masculine. Kegel. This series of small devices are named for Dr. Kegel. They exercise the pelvic floor. The original purpose of the Kegel device is to help women who have bladder control issues from complications in childbirth. Master, let me see how to pronounce it again.
Yahoo.
What is it?
It's Yahoo.
Yahoo. Yeah, Yahoo. Master Yahoo has discovered another way to use them. Used as prescribed in the regimen, this device changes the reflexology profile of the vagina. Use of the device tightens the muscles of the vagina that hug the penis during intercourse. This is discussed in the sessions. Used in conjunction with other exercises, the Kegel also encourages acupuncture meridians in the reproductive tract to release and open. Small blood vessels in the vagina have very tiny deposits of plaque buildup over the years in the typical woman. The Kegel may work to break some of this plaque free. Most of all the Kegel exercise, as prescribed, alters chi flow. Start with 5-minute sessions, work your way up to 20-minute sessions by the end of the regimen. We mean you continue the exercise nonstop for 20 minutes. It sounds easy, but may be harder than you think.
Are we talking about a 20-minute Kegel?
Yeah, 20 whole minutes.
That's a long time. 5
Yeah, it
minutes
is.
sounds like a long time.
20 minutes. Ugh. Okay. Qigong. Kidney Qigong is one of the main elements in the regimen. The kidney is a yin organ. These exercises build up the yin qi in the female. More importantly, these exercises are designed to infuse greater qi into the main yin meridian running through the main organs of the body. The benefits include better blood pressure control and invigoration of the important functions in the reproductive system. Other forms of Qigong are used to bring balance to the overall Qi system. When Qigong is used in conjunction with other aspects of the regimen, it has the effect of raising the Kundalini slightly. And one of the main goals of the Tantra art is the raising of Kundalini. The Kundalini is the inner life force, the product of the combination of Yang Qi with Yin Qi. When the Kundalini is raised even a little, it has a very major impact to all life systems in the body. It has an impact on the master feminine faculty. Feminine faculty. The raising of Kundalini, the raising of the Kundalini causes a marked increase in the secretion of human growth hormone from the pituitary gland. The secretion of this hormone is critical for the master feminine faculty to bring about many of the feminine attributes in the female that supercharge her physical appearance and libido. The raising of the Kundalini brings on a state of euphoria. In this euphoric state, the woman can face the challenge of charging her situation without the weight and inertia from past trauma, fears, and anxieties crushing her spirit. It is like a tonic. She said she's glad it's a companion book. Yellow. Yeah, that'll give us a lot of balance because as women, we be all the way that way. And what we learned in High Priestess class is that the female is the negative energy. The male is the positive. And so when you look around at things,
Is it? I thought it was the other way around. I thought that the positive was. Okay, I'm sorry, Nina. Go ahead.
no, I wish we can. Is anyone in here from High Priestess class? No, we all thought at first that we are the positive. So we went into culture shock. The feminine energy is the more chaotic energy, and I always talk about how I embrace my shadow self more. Okay, if we had a good old war and we had to pull it off, I think the females would definitely um be able to wipe everything clean more so than the male because they think with the logic, our emotions run high. And so that's what the guy was saying, like having a woman in office, oh, they're too emotional. Yeah, we wiped the thing clean. It would be
Mhm.
really, the grace would be out the window. And so for me, I think that once we get both ends of the spectrum and we're thinking when we get to new situations or new points in time after doing the healing and some type of work, that it'll assist us in shifting society because our energy is shifted.
Mhm.
You said dance on the floor.
Oop, I'm sorry.
That's all it is. In shape. Dancing is a great form of session. Yes, it is. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then yeah, so right, positive being masculine energy.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And if you look at nature, they put, yeah, they impregnate, and so it gives you a lot to think about. So when we looking at the world, when we were having this discussion in High Priestess class taught by Amina L, what she was saying is like we think that the world is in chaos because we're still under the patriarchy. And it's just not true. It's a false narrative. It's like, yeah, we keep celebrating women being elevated in power. That's cool. But when you're looking out in the world, it is kind of chaotic. And so us wanting to lead, we want to lead the charge.
Hmm.
And it's like that's not your role. Let's go back to the triggering statement. What did he say? As a wife, a female is a pleasure generator. And
That's
so
it.
yeah, yeah. So where are we gonna? It's like a tonic. Where are we gonna stop today?
Um, maybe read the sexual renaissance, and then we'll stop at awakening exercise.
Okay.
That's a lot. Then it gets into the case
You
examples.
you see the case of Jennifer.
Not no. Well, I don't know. Shit, It's possible.
Okay. The sexual renaissance. Human beings are the prototypes of the creator. If the creator were an ocean, each human spirit would be a drop of water in that ocean. The spirit serves as a vessel of experience. In other words, through each human consciousness, the creator is able to come into his, her, its creation and experience the creation. The creator experiences through our experience. We can have experience in a number of ways, but the intended way, the preferred way, is through the experience of pleasure and joy. Our main purpose for being alive is to experience life as pleasure. We see this clearly in the young child. They find joy in the most simple and the ordinary of things. This is why we are here. Now, of course, having experience is not the only reason we are here. We are here to evolve also. The more we evolve, the purer our ability to experience. And pleasure and joy is not the only type of experience. We cannot know joy unless we have something to contrast it with, such as pain. Pain is there to show you the wrong path. Excuse me. Pain is there to show you the wrong path. And as you will see, the more evolved a being becomes, the wider the spectrum of things that can be experienced as pleasure. This is why some women experience unusual things as sexual pleasure. You can tie some woman up and do things that normally would cause pain, but some females find these things to give pleasure anyway. What is happening? This is not abnormal, but a highly evolved rose faculty. It is the elegant rose energy. A woman can train herself to experience almost anything as a sexual pleasure if the intent of the man is good. The central theme of earthly experience is a sensual one. We have we have five senses to sense pleasure. Everything we must do to live and thrive on the earth is by natural design, designed to bring pleasure to us. So he's saying we have five senses to sense pleasure. Everything we must do to live and thrive on earth is by natural design, designed to bring pleasure to us. Can it get any better than that? Food by nature satisfies our appetite, bringing pleasure. We automatically get hungry. Natural stuff is beautiful to look at. Look at a rose, a tree, a mountain, the ocean. They are all just beautiful without adding anything to it.
Look at that. You don't need to do anything. It's
Right.
already here. Can I
Absolutely.
read this? Can I just read up to the case example? So read the awakening exercise.
Absolutely. If you don't mind, I do have to step away to use the restroom.
Oh, okay.
Um, Anybody that needs to go to the restroom or that hasn't already gone, feel free. I'm coming right back. Okay.
Okay.
I don't want to hold it.
Is there anybody here that feels comfortable just sharing about their first elegant rose experience? You remember what you were wearing, or what was a memorable moment for y'all? Yeah, both of our experiences were yellow. And that was what is yellow in terms of chakra? Solar plexus. That's very true. I thought about that too. The color of yellow, just happiness and freedom.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So we're gonna read Awakening Exercise, Energy Foreplay. Important note: the exercises, mantras, concepts, and energy work described in this chapter are dynamic and intense. They should be done as part of a supervised regimen. Major physical illness and problems in the reproductive system should be addressed or considered before attempting to undertake any of these procedures. The oral instructions given by the regimen guide follow, given by the regimen guide should be followed. Any precautions given should be taken under serious advisement. In the doubt, if in doubt as to your fitness, seek professional advice. The sexual experience is an energy experience. Orgasm is an energy event. It occurs in the auric field and nervous system first, and only then does the woman feel it in the reproductive system. A woman cannot have an orgasm in her vagina until it first occurs in her auric field. If the man and woman do not know what they are doing, the penis and vagina get in the way of making love more than they assist. In class, when we are teaching the men, they are taught to make energy contact with their wife for 20 to 30 minutes before they actually undress and get into bed. To do this, the man touches his wife in a special way, or he holds his hand out for about 10 inches from her body and projects energy out of his hand into her auric field. Now, this sounds like esoteric stuff from a comic book or something. I told one brother I was going to teach him how to project energy out of his hand, and he said, I did not know this was Star Wars class. Are you Obi-Wan Kenobi or something? And he laughed. But just so you know, he stopped laughing after he learned how to do it. His wife responded so well one time, he called me to thank me, and she made sure he continued to come to class. About 12 out of 100 men can project energy out of their body by the first time they try. I do not know how easy women can do it yet, but everyone can be taught because everyone has an auric field. You are always projecting energy. When you stop, you die. It is just a matter of focus. For this exercise, the group will divide into men and women. The women will form an outer circle, and the men of the group should form a circle inside of the females. Females should never attempt to do this with other females. It will produce harm. The females will turn their back to men. Each man shall pick the woman in front of him and stand right behind her. Step 1. The males locate the first thoracic vertebrae on the spine of the woman. The vertebrae is located near the base of the neck. It is usually the first vertebrae to protrude out. It may be difficult to see on people with extra weight. The vertebrae right in front of this is the seventh cervical vertebra. The spine is divided into 7 sections that correspond to the 7 chakras. The cervical spine ends at the brain stem. The thoracic spine is below it. The lumbar spine is below that. These are the main sections of the spine. Now, the man locates the spinal protrusions of the first thoracic vertebra and the 7th cervical vertebra. Place the thumb of the right hand between these two protrusions on the left side of the spine, about 1/2 inch from the bone. Press in and then remove the thumb. This is the energy transfer spot. Step 2. The woman should sit in a chair. She starts to take long, deep breaths. The man will start his breathing pattern. The man will take a very deep breath and hold it, pushing his diaphragm out. Hold his breath in for 20 seconds, then let the breath out. He will take his second deep breath and hold it, and place his right hand thumb on the spot again, pressing in slightly. He should not touch the spine until he starts the breathing pattern. Step 3. The man continues to hold his thumb on her spine. He should take about 3 of these breaths for each minute. The out breath is quick. Hold the in breaths. Continue to transfer energy for about 4 to 5 minutes. The man then releases his hand. Step 4. During the energy transfer, the woman must keep her feet apart and her hands apart. The hands should not touch each other. She should remain still and not talk during the transfer. The whole thing should take about 5 minutes. After the energy transfer, the woman should feel a slight tingling in either her hands or feet. She may also feel the energy stir in her auric field. It is possible and even probable that the woman may experience slight sexual arousal from this exercise. For the next phase of this exercise, the women should be seated. The men now rotate to the woman next in the circle. The men will each be seated directly behind the woman. The woman will sit with feet and hands apart. The men begin to breathe in very deeply, pushing their diaphragms out. Hold the breath about 30 seconds and breathe out slowly, then in again quickly. Hold for 30 seconds. The right hand of the man is placed on the woman at her belly, right below her navel. His left hand is placed on the back of her neck, at the point on the thoracic spine he touched before. But he is using his flat hand now, not the thumb. The man will project energy out of his right hand and attempt to direct his energy up her body toward her head. The man projects his energy by seeing it in his mind. He must be confident and assertive in his projection. Hold this posture for 7 minutes. Phase 3, Step 1. The men rotate again to the next woman in the circle. This is the third phase. They are still seated. The men start the breathing pattern again. Each man now places his right hand under her right breast. His left hand is placed on the back of the neck in the same spot as before. Then he cups the breast from underneath, lifting up very gently. The man projects his energy into her breast. He should take in about 2 long, deep breaths each minute. Hold this posture for about 7 minutes. Release the hand. The exercise is over. Each man will have been with 3 females, and once the men finish, they switch places with the women, and the women do the same procedure to the men, all 3 phases. The group should take some time to discuss the results. After all 3 phases, the women should feel a slight tingling sensation on the skin and running down the legs on the inside. Some women will also feel that their auric field is charged. The objective is that the women should begin to feel a sense of arousal and a sort of euphoric feeling or feeling of lightness. Women will feel aroused by the energy the more receptive they are to the male and to the sexual energy in general. The more yin and feminine the woman is, the more intense will the energy flow. A very yang and externalized woman will feel only a slight feeling in the beginning, which will grow to a more pronounced sensation the more times the exercise is done. Once the group goes home, they can teach this to their mates and continue to do the exercise at home. Practice this until the next meeting. Depending on the success of the group, the guide may give further instructions on how to enhance the exercise to get more intense results. This exercise is a form of foreplay. The more couples do it, the better the results. The women may not feel much at first, but give it time. Before women can get the full benefit of the energy flow, the men need to learn how to project their energy properly. It takes time. In time, a man can do this without touching the woman. Energy work brings men and women closer together emotionally. It changes the nature of the bond between man and woman. One man reported that after 3 weeks of this exercise, he could smell his wife's perfume at work whenever he was stressed. Aww. He asked his wife about this, and she was surprised. She was unaware of what was happening to him and was not trying to do anything that she was aware of. But she admitted that she had been refreshing her scent during the day, during the day more than normal. And after she thought about it, she noticed that this was unusual. Some of these wives were taking the women's class and knew what their inner husbands were doing, but most had no exposure to the information, but responded just the same. So I was going to stop there. So this man could smell his wife's perfume at work whenever he was stressed.
Wow.
He asked his wife about it. She was surprised. She was unaware of what was happening to him, and she wasn't trying to do anything that she was aware of. But she admitted that she had been refreshing her scent during the day more than normal. And after she thought about it, she noted that this was unusual.
Mm.
Some of these wives were taking the women's class and knew what their husbands were doing, but most had no exposure to the information but responded just the same. So is this kind of speaking to just the connectedness of
Right.
the couple?
Yeah, the energy that they're exuding,
Mm-hmm.
or the shift in the energy. Can you imagine
Mm,
you at work and somebody being able to smell your perfume?
that's beautiful.
Right. And it brings them some type of soothing effect.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I figure we could save case examples for, I
Mhm.
guess, next week. We read next week, Nina. So
Right.
chapter 7 is such a long chapter.
Well, that's the end of chapter 7. So
Is it? I
yeah,
don't think so.
yeah.
Oh,
Case.
we gotta go to one. Oh, it's 2 more pages. So after the case example, then we finish. So 107 through 110. You want me to continue? You want me to read to the end?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
Do it.
Case example, Jennifer. Jennifer presented as self-centered, judgmental, distrustful, and a little vain. Jennifer is a 26-year-old woman of mixed race. Her mother was white and her father black. Jennifer was a very attractive young woman. She weighs about 135 pounds and is 5 feet 7 inches tall. Her cup size is D. She dresses as a magnet to attract. Jennifer wears things which are form fitting. Her tops often show her ample cleavage. Men describe her walk as very sexy. Even when she is not trying, she sends off erotic vibes. She is broadcasting the positive, elegant rose, and men pick up on this. But Jennifer does not have the use of the attributes of the hawk, moon, and treasure chest. She does not nurture men, but judges harshly. Her right brain is out of sync, and thus she does not make good choices. She does not handle money well. Life to Jennifer is like an exciting game. Jennifer likes her body and enjoys male attention, but has trouble in one on one encounters with men. Jennifer is easily aroused, and once aroused, she finds it hard to control herself. Her low threshold of arousal is something she is ashamed of. She once had an orgasm on the dance floor of a club after dancing constantly for an hour. Even though no one knew her, she made excuses to her girlfriends and rushed home feeling very embarrassed. Jennifer has had relations at work, in the bathroom at parties, and once at a museum behind a painting. Jennifer took the metro to work every day. On warm, clear days, she always wore something a little sexy to work. On the way home, sometimes she got off the metro one stop early and walked the rest of the way to her car. She said she did this for the exercise, but the real reason was to engage in a form of voyeurism. Men from 16 to 60 would check her out as she strolled down the street. She made sure to bend over at the newsstand. She walked slowly by the construction site filled with many manly workers. Once in a while, a man would follow her for 2 or 3 blocks, enjoying the view of her assets from behind. And this always turned Jennifer on, even though it was dangerous. But then she went into the secure private building where her car was parked. They could not follow her in there. On those occasions, she often arrived at her car fully aroused and wet, her nipples erect. After this, she hated herself for being so perverted. For that is how Jennifer saw herself, as having too great a libido. She wanted more control of her desire. Because while Jennifer could get aroused in public, she had trouble doing so in a long term relationship. Jennifer's first complaint in counseling was that she could not seem to get into a serious relationship. She had not been in a relationship for 3 years, although she wanted to. Jennifer's second complaint was that she had lost her ability to have a vaginal orgasm in a normal relationship with a man. It had not always been so, but it seemed that she had developed a protective mechanism to keep her sexual drive from getting out of hand. If she was at the club with a stranger or with some other woman's man or in an unusual situation, she could easily be aroused. But she rejected men that she knew would be good for her, and even if they were physically appealing. She rejected men that she knew would be good for her, even if they were physically appealing. If he was too available, she rejected him on the ground that he could not turn her on. The funny thing was that Jennifer was blocking her natural attraction and prevented herself from having certain experiences, even though the evidence was there. Her excuse was, those men only seem to want one thing from me. It turned her off when men were too impressed by her body and sex appeal. Jennifer responded to men who ignored her. She was intrigued by men who seemed unimpressed by first her striking figure, unimpressed at first by her striking figure. Most of the men Jennifer dated were the roughneck types. She liked take charge men. They made her lose control of herself and give in. This was very intoxicating. Of course, these men did not desire an emotional connection to her, just sex. And it was a matter of time before her resistance would wear down and she would give into their demands. These men were able to arouse Jennifer, but she was not able to experience orgasm with them. What Jennifer did not realize was that she was blocking her orgasm because she was not emotionally connected. A part of her spirit rebelled against that. She would not have sex for 20 minutes. She would have hot sex for 20 minutes, and the man would have his climax, but not Jennifer. She would fake it. Of course, no relationship developed. Most men, of course, were impressed by Jennifer, and among them were men who were compatible to her. Many of them she thought were cute, but she did not give them the time of day, even though they tried hard. If she remained in this cycle, she would not have much success in relationships. The nice guy behavior thing in men made Jennifer sick, but her counselor was able to make Jennifer see that her posture against nice guys was directly related to the guilt Jennifer felt about her sexual behavior and her lack of control. She was deeply self conscious about being so easy. And in a deep part of her, there was an insecurity that a nice guy might find fault with her, where as a less virtuous man would not. Further coaching put Jennifer in touch with her feminine self and removed the stigma. She finally decided to open up and consider dating men she had dismissed before. It did not take long for a man to approach her who would test her new resolve. They went out on a first date, and she liked him. He did stare at her cleavage too much, but she decided to overlook it this time. The more they went out, the more she realized that she was getting attached to him, and it was a little frightening. After a while, the moment of intimacy came. Jennifer had her first vaginal orgasm in many years, and the intensity of it shocked her. He was not a roughneck, but she still responded to him. And then she realized that his excitement about being close to her was part of what aroused her. It was something inside her. Jennifer was luckier than most women. Her elegant rose had developed a lot on its own. She was desperately trying to suppress it and was ashamed of it. Jennifer somehow had avoided any really negative sexual experiences. There were no rapes, nasty rejections, abortions, or trauma in her past. Her father was there for her as a child. She did have a negative womb imprint from her first sexual experience, but it was not that bad. When Jennifer was 15 and fully developed, there was a policeman in her neighborhood who looked out for her. She saw his patrol car cruise by often as she walked home from school. He protected her, and she was attracted to him. She seduced him and lost her virginity in an alley. It did not end the way she thought it would, but it was not forced or bad. It did not shut down her master feminine faculty. Mm, well, there's a lot here about Jennifer that I relate to. I remember being really young and journaling about, like, oh my gosh, why am I always talking about boys? And why am I always talking about kissing boys? And why am I always talking about having sex with boys when I have no idea what it means? Like, I never hadn't done any of it, but would just fantasize about it. And I thought that something was wrong with me for feeling like that. And yeah, I completely get just the whole arousal from that type of attention, even though it was dangerous and calling just the wrong type of people. And the part that really, really hit was feeling like with a nice guy that that there's no way that he would even want nothing to do with me, because women who were like this, like Jennifer, would be labeled as a hoe in many cases. And that's the thing that we have to. Oh, Nina, you muted. You're on mute. If as
Yeah,
a whole, like getting out of the like as other women that we help our sisters to embrace that rather than shutting them down and labeling
yeah, yeah. And it all goes back to me. I was gonna share, but I'm gonna share. I'm gonna put it out there. Um, just working in the strip club, it boils my blood when people talk about strippers as if they aren't people. And so, my elegant rose years were those couple of years I was there. It ain't like I was there 10 years. It was a great experience because it taught me the different sides of women. Like they would come in looking one way, and when they came out to work, oh, it's a whole nother creature. And just being open, the body's just being so beautiful. I could always see the beauty in it all. The beauty and the confidence they exude, even though it
mm,
was more of a, you know, seated hawk. I'll say, isn't that the one you got to pay her? But at
mm-hmm,
the same time, the confidence is to be admired. And so that was my whole thing. And then we're not talking about just any females. We're talking about lawyers, teachers. I even met well, I'll say societies.
mm,
Squash society women. And so it was just one of those things. And so that's why I learned my confidence. Um it was just no way after that I was gonna go back to being somebody that felt like they had to have on a bunch of clothes all the time. You don't come out of that. No. And
mm,
I learned personally that that is a construct to suppress your feminine energy. It was absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that. And so next time y'all see some sisters in the streets or in a setting, don't be a hater. If she doing her thing, let her do her thing. Tell her she look beautiful. Let her know that you admire that confidence to even wear what she wants to wear. Because all of us are so programmed to thinking that the flesh should be hidden, and it's not true. It's not
mm.
how that's a part of colonization. And so, yeah, this book makes me think. It's like, dang, man, the part where he said you shut it down, like to the point you don't feel comfortable in your skin to even experience pleasure yourself. You'll shut your own pleasure down.
Right.
Like, what is really happening here? And so it's a lot. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, we got through chapter 7.
We did it. I was nervous. I still feel a little, queasy in my stomach if I had to
Mm-hmm.
keep it real.
Yeah. You have to settle in it. All of us that participate on Wednesday, what we do is let it play during the week. Because some of this stuff is just like, dang, and it does sit right there in your stomach. It's like you thinking for me, and I know the moms out there, we have children and start dressing like we're 90 automatically. You know,
Hmm.
their wardrobe changes very drastically. If you were an elegant rose before, you go into being Sister Martha. She's sitting on the second row of the pew with a shawl over her skirt. Just instantly. It's like, who wants to live out their days like that? No. That's
Yeah.
why I can't be converted to anything that is telling me that all this feminine energy need to be covered up. I ain't even finna cover up my hair all the time. I believe it's a time for that if you're doing your spiritual work, but just being fully, no, I'm gonna need all this glory. It's like
No,
oh,
it's true though. It's true. It's just like we've gone all, our whole lives just learning how to shut that down
mm,
and reject it. It's like here, focus on getting this bag.
mm-hmm. And it's really
Isn't that crazy?
disgusting because you have a bunch of money, but you're not really happy because it isn't just the money. You have to have all those things balanced. And I see a lot of women, us, beautiful spirit, the energy is beautiful. We working together, we just all these levels. But what's coming, and not all, but some, is a lot of them are single. They have it all, they travel. I mean, they skin glowing, but they be single. And so it's like one of those things. He said catch 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, y'all.
And then we get into chapter 8 where we talk about what he's 1 trillion faked orgasm.
Listen, we went over this
Oh,
on Wednesday night as well. Just can't just the faking of it. Come, how do we get here, ladies? Well, we just faking each and every one. How do we get here, ladies?
it has to stop. Yes, we did. We just talked about that. All the single women, like it's a lot. So we get in paper, it's like get your bag, be a boss,
Hmm.
but you can't have no orgasm though.
Right.
Don't like you sacrificing one over the other. It's
Which
just
makes for the cranky boss, and
okay.
also all of the toys involved. The
Okay.
toys is sending out radio waves into the area of your vagina, and that too, we don't know how that's going to affect the next generations.
You're so right. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, they came out with a news story about that rose that came out, and just saying how many radio they were testing the radioactivity coming off of it. And so that's not my generation. I came in the generation of the bedroom candy. Okay. So it just made me think like, wait a minute, those are good quality toys. And meanwhile, listen, listen, ladies, candy make good quality toys now. They last a long time.
Mm,
So yeah, it makes you think like, what are the fallouts from that? And then again, looking at the world, is this chaos us? Because we're not having orgasms. Okay. All right.
yeah, I remember my mother got saved. She came home and packed up all my oh 13. That's
Oh,
like an immediate life-changing event that takes place just immediately. Oh
right.
my gosh.
Yeah, my grandmother used to look down on them pants, honey. And so, and I can say now, being older at 40, I enjoy me a good old skirt. And I'm like, we got to shift on into 100% this because the energy is different. I feel way more comfortable when I'm in a skirt
Mhm.
versus the pants. They going across your root chakra. You are secured two different, three different ways.
Right.
You got each leg in a slot and it's zipped around your waist. This could not be healthy. Just
Mm.
and it's just like, yeah.
You know what that makes me think about is like compression suits. I have so many of them too.
I got on a pair now. I am compressed, ladies. Listen.
It's like they're so uncomfortable. That's the thing. It's like all of this stuff that we have conditioned ourselves to become uncomfortable with and accept it as a norm. Why? It's
Yeah,
like,
get you some. Get you some. We
mm,
gotta free our body parts, and when we talking about the chakras and the meridians and the acupuncture points, we are shutting down our energy, and this stuff is at this point is voluntary.
it is. That's the part that hurts the most is that it's voluntary.
Right. Brother Uno asked, "Do we think sex toys destroy sexual relationships?" Oh, you got it. Okay.
Mm,
Um, I wouldn't say destroy. I don't know. I wouldn't say destroy now, Uno. Here you go. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think they should be used in substitute of because it's not real. Okay.
Yeah.
When you start preferring that toy or that toy is the only outlet, things can still be a little stale. It's like,
I do wonder how necessary sex toys would be if we
mm-hmm,
were more connected with our partner at an energetic level,
mm-hmm,
because those toys are 100% physical. That's why, like, the minute it hits, like, the clitoris, it's instant. Like, there's no build up, there's no none of that. It's just instant. And I think
mm-hmm.
that, I don't know, perhaps that's something that there could be an illusion around the expectations of sex with your partner, that, you're comparing them quite possibly with the ability to get you there.
The toy gets you there, but in the book, we're learning that if you can't get yourself there, energy wise, then it's still like slapping a band-aid over a wound and just leaving the band-aid.
Mm,
It's really not helping. Um, I wouldn't say bro. I think if we all were getting orgasms, there wouldn't be no sex toys. But like you said, it comes from the energy being disconnected.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like everybody got a toy. Everybody. I don't know nobody that don't own one. So it's just another piece of evidence that the orgasms are scarce out here. And so we're gonna have to fix that. I've been hula hooping this week. I feel better. I have not managed to keep that hula hoop up for long, but I'm gonna keep going and keep trying. But it does let me know that something is off balance in that
Mm,
area. So I have to keep working at it. But I do talk to someone else. Shout out to Misty on Instagram. She started out and now she's really good at it just by continuing to do it, getting in the flow of it.
mm-hmm.
And she said she definitely can tell that it is healing in the area of that root chakra, and assisting her in releasing old traumas and so forth. So,
Yeah, that makes me think of what, earlier when we started reading, that waveform of just like kind of going with the flow, like
mm-hmm,
when we achieve orgasm and we're like clenching and, like twisting our toes up, all of that choked energy, and
mm-hmm,
kind of like with the hula hoop or any of those exercises that help you to just catch the rhythm of your orgasm.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Cause every time I hula hoop, I feel like I ain't got no rhythm, child. I ain't gonna lie.
Right, same.
I'm like, what is happening here?
Yes,
I
yes.
used to be going that dancing all the time, so I don't understand what happened to the energy.
Mm. How can you work on your orgasm with your partner with the sex toys?
Well, it's just I think the toys, the role is not to be so cranky in the waiting of the working on it
Mm.
with your partner. That's I don't know. Maybe that's a little impatient. I don't know. So if y'all want to see good hula hooping, it's Simplicity I Am. That's my homie on Instagram. So yeah.
It's the introduction of that female energy. It's not explained, it's just done.
Mm-hmm.
What if we were
Mm-hmm.
taught that it was restricting something we were going to need to use later in
Mm-hmm.
life? Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Knowing the why, because we know in past times. Now I don't know about you with King, but I tend to try to explain things with my seed more because I grew up in a generation where you couldn't ask questions. It was
Yep.
considered being grown, or you couldn't. And so in that explaining, when you know the why, you can make better decisions. And so at that point, yeah, I think it should have been explained. My grandmother never said why she didn't like skirts. And I just thought it was something religion. I mean, well, she didn't like pants. And I thought it was something religion based. But
Hmm.
but the truth of the matter is that feminine energy has to flow. You know, you got it all buckled down.
Yeah, it has to be expressed. And this is so important for like having uh well, just reading about the master feminine, a young girl who may potentially be asking these types of questions because she is needing to express that type of energy, and maybe it's by way of asking questions or wanting to know how certain things
Mhm.
within her body are working or whatever, that just having an openness to have this understanding of what's going on within
Mhm.
her at this age is some powerful stuff.
Right, right,
Being able to give that explanation and know where she's at in her journey,
right.
the young woman. Hmm.
Because it just seemed like when we were growing up, I don't know if this is relevant, but it's everything was like a big secret. Why would
Yeah,
the sex talk was a secret?
the sex talk
If
was a
you got
secret.
pregnant, it was a secret. Like, no,
It
that
was a
created a whole
secret.
bunch of guessing amongst us. And so when the world has to teach you those lessons, they're not going to be as pretty or soft as if we
Mm.
would have just learned it from our parents. And so we have to correct this in this generation. Because I know I still, I never got to talk.
Yeah,
The world talked to
same.
me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And
So,
looking back at that case study with Jennifer, you know, it was like she was able to cultivate her elegant rose. I mean, she was missing the other three, but she had to work on that. But she was able to cultivate that elegant rose by people in her environment who were able to support her so that she felt protected and that she
mhm.
was able to express herself,
Right.
which got her to the point that she was able to thrive in that faculty.
Right, right. Absolutely. Does anybody else here want to jump on and share anything before we get out of here? Don't all line up at once. Don't all line up at once.
Oh.
I just dropped the link in the chat. And so yeah, chapter 7 was good and fulfilling, even though it busted a couple of my bubbles. I ain't gonna lie. It was good.
It was definitely.
We were
It
looking at it
explains
like,
a
dang, we
lot.
still ain't finished. We still ain't finished.
I thought for some reason I thought we had to go to page like 120 or something.
Yeah, it looks like the chapter 8 is a little long, but it looks like 2 sessions. So about the same, maybe. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So we appreciate everybody that shows up on Sunday. There's
Yes.
nothing like a live experience. And also, those of you that are supporting us, thank you for liking, sharing, and commenting. We need you all to do these things so that we can get up in the algorithm. The more comments, the better. It keeps elevating us up. And so we want to expose this book and this information to everybody that it's for. Some people might not come across it. Oh, come through, brother.
Okay.
Hey y'all.
Hey, Uno.
Mm.
So I'm listening. I don't own the book, so y'all are my readers. Okay, so I'm listening. I'm going with the flow. I'm enjoying the read everything, and My the one thing that I say that I really love about this book particular is it's explaining, characteristics about women that men also know about women that we scared to tell women because of their reaction to certain things that we know.
Mm.
And it's a form of control. Men use these particular things as a form of control as well. So it's important that women understand the dynamic of what men know about these type of things, and they use them to their advantages. You know what I'm saying? Um, like y'all was talking about the sexuality of a woman and the way that she dresses. Now, we approach women based on a level of, because you see women all day, just like women see men all day as well, right? Well, the way a woman dress particularly explains to us. I'm telling you about from a man's point of view, what kind of relationship I'm gonna have with that person, or experience. Now, some women can dress a certain type of way that will you assume to be intelligent. For us men, you know what I'm saying? We look at intelligence based on the way that you carry yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because when you dress yourself, we thinking that you're thinking. We don't think. We just throw shit on, we go outside. You know what I'm saying? Respectively. Women take their time and do things. So with that being said, with regard to how women go outside, it's based on how we determine how our women are going to react in the streets when we're not around. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the reaction, because we are reactive. We react to things. We see things and we be like, ooh, look at that. You know what I'm saying? It's women have to understand this particular part about it. Now, it's okay to be sexual, but men, we look at it like this. Who is going to be there to protect you when you out dressed that way? Now, when you with me, that's the prize. I get to show when my wife dresses, if she dresses provocative in a way, if she's with me, I can give y'all a story. It made me so mad, particularly because I had to explain to her after the fact. Now, but I wanted y'all to just know that when she's with me, I feel like I can protect her from the things that's in my head, how men react to things, because we're reactive, right? Now, I'm gonna tell y'all this story. So I'm at work. I know y'all ain't got a lot of time, but I was at work. I was at work. My wife, we was just boyfriend and girlfriend at this particular time. So I was at work. She needed some things done to her vehicle, right? So I was like, all right, go to the parts store, get the parts. I will take care of that. Just go to this parts store. That way, when I get off, I can take care of that. Man, she picked me up from my father's house because I had to go to my father's house to get the tools. So she was going to my father's house to bring the car so I can do the job at my dad's house. Well, when she got out the car, she had on, y'all remember back in the 90s, those little tinted dresses? You know what I'm talking about?
The tennis skirt.
Yo, my heart dropped. I'm like, because this is my selfishness. This is because I'm a protector. That's how I am. You know what I'm saying? And most men are that care for their woman. My heart dropped to my stomach because I know she's been out all day like this. So I'm like, why? No, So the first thing I had to explain to her is, dude, you've been out all day like this? This is a representation of who you are. That means that what I like about you at home, now you showing the world, the people around, because you don't have your protector by you. You don't got your security guard. Hey, I'm free and this is how I am at home. This is how I want to be. You know what I'm saying? Sexually, I want to exploit myself in the world. And then she was like, it ain't nothing but a dress. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not just a dress. It's an examination of who you are as a person, an example of who you are as a person when you in your comfortability at home.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? When we was talking about drawers, like not wearing panties and underwear at home, like that's comfortable, and you really want to go out like that, but you do it because you know that's not the place for that. You know what I'm saying? Out in public. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what I was getting from that particularly. But I explained to her what it was, and I was like, you know what? Could you please just change your clothes while you with me? Don't go change. I swear, I went through her clothes. I looked for that dress. I found it. I buried that motherfucker in the backyard. I literally buried that dress because it was an example of what I didn't want in my relationship. You know what I'm saying? And I told her, I said, yo, this is not disrespectfully. I just want you to carry yourself there. Now, she never did this before. So it blew me that she did it. I'm like, what the hell? She might have been doing it for me. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I'm at
to add a little pizzazz back to it. So you buried her, and her elegant rose is now in the backyard.
Yo, I buried that joint. I was like, now she has sexual stuff. She dressed it provocative in a way where I felt like it was casual sexual to me. And that's what that would turn me on that she will be in a position where she dresses the way that was sexual, but it wasn't revealing. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
See, it's a way you do it and a way you don't do it.
Right, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So that was my key to it. But that was a very good point in that book. I really enjoyed that. You know what I'm saying? And it was just, and then another part about relationship with a woman, with my woman particularly, is the communication when that happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't that I was being over. Now, I told y'all my heart dropped in my stomach, but I didn't react to that. I actually was like, yo, just you've been out all day like this. And I'll be in my mind like, no, and you can see the booty meat and everything. I was like, so I knew it wasn't for me. I mean, she wasn't looking at it. She just probably thought it was a pretty dress or whatever. But
yeah, and it could have been for her. She could have felt like, you know what, I still got it. Let me put this on today.
No, she always, because that's another thing. As being in a relationship, my wife is not the same woman that she was when I first met her.
Mm-hmm.
She done gained weight. She don't look the same in the face. But my reaction to her is always going to be that first reaction from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You have to, because I ain't the same person either. I'm fat too. Right. I done gained weight. I'm not the same person. And when you look at your woman or you look at your mate, you looking at that person as a reflection of yourself. So even though she done gain weight, I'm like, yo, I'm big too. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We got to do this together. So we've been working on things to, make that thing work. But I really enjoy this book. I really do, because I love how you guys react to the aspect of that, and the part that the masculine and feminine aspect of women, how diverse it is. You know what I'm saying? Right. And how women override certain aspects of themselves instead of balancing those things. Mm-hmm. Now, I mentioned Kali, the goddess of destruction, and we was like, all this feminine inspiration and all this feminine thing. Well, the people that are the architects of the world, they understand this about our particular women, that you have an energy that you can't see with the naked eye. Mm-hmm. Now, us males, we know, because their woman can look at you and you be like, oh shit, we know it. And when you're a kid, how your grandma looked at you, or your mom, or your auntie. This is an energy it's not to be seen, but it's known that it's there. Mm-hmm. So our ancestors actually created deities to explain the balance between the gods. You know, this god is this god. That all the female aspects of gods always show them as being destructive. They will tear some shit up, you know. And the male aspect is always this sitting on a throne, just sitting back, observing. You know what I'm saying? Well, they showing you, you got to put the two together in order for to make the balance work. You know what I'm saying? And that aspect is the god of a feminine and the masculine. It's inside of males and females.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? Those aspects of gods is between, but they've been teaching women to be more sexual. Sexual is a son of energy that causes destruction. So they want them to be more provocative, more to the extreme on the sexual side, which is it's really strong energy that causes destruction. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have that male energy that like kind of come through and say, yo, baby, you going too hard with that sexual energy, you gotta kind of tone that down a little bit. Well, they giving you the aspect of that in the world. So they throwing it out there. They also using males as that energy as well. So you got a lot of males out here with this feminine aspect. And being a man, we show sexually. So if you got two men together, I'm just gonna say this, two men, and they think like men, right? You know, women have to push us back, like, hey, you trying to smash too much. You gotta take your time, buddy. We're gonna get to it. You know what I'm saying? So you got two men bringing that feminine aspect of energy. They going all day, all that destruction. This is energies that we don't see, and I just be like, you know, we have to look at it. We got to stand back, observe the world as the way it is, and see that something is not right. You know, from 40 years ago, you know what I'm saying, to now, something happened that threw us off, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I just wanted to, you know, and I commemorate you guys for bringing this forth and reading this. I'm a reader to the fullest now, but I just like the way that y'all deliver it because it rolls off the tongue better because y'all explaining y'all experience. You know what I'm saying? And that goes with narrating the book itself. That's making it way better. You know what I'm saying? An experience. That's all. I just wanted to add that. And you know, I'm a man and I don't supposed to be here, but I'm just going. No, I'm saying I don't supposed to be in the females conversation, but I feel like I have to say something here and there just to give it that balance. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And that's why we welcome you. We thought we ran you out.
No. No, I get. You know what's weird? I haven't been getting notifications like normal. Like y'all be live, and then I finally get a text like 30 minutes in, and I'm like, yo, what the heck? So I'd be coming in late, but I go back and I watched the last one and the one before because I missed those.
We appreciate you.
Yeah. Because I love it. I love this part. I love that our women, and I mean from a male's perspective, our women are bringing the balance that we need. And y'all are the keys to getting things under control. Women are the key to controlling the universe, particularly our women, because they have a divine energy that's overwhelming. It's like, you know, you can have something, a car that you can have a million cars out here. It's always going to be the best car or the best vehicle or the best moving vehicle. A lot of cars out here, but it's certain cars that are equipped with this particular speed and agility to get you to where you need to get to at a destination. You know what I'm saying? And but yeah, women, I love it. I really do. I appreciate y'all so much.
We appreciate
you. Thank you.
Yeah, I really do. So I just let y'all go ahead and do y'all thing. I take off, but I really do appreciate y'all.
Oh,
and
thank you
keep
for
doing it.
hopping on. You the first
Keep
person
do
that not hopped on.
right. Keep doing this. Keep promoting these type of characteristics about books like
Mhm.
this, because men have to see this too.
Mhm.
And I've been sending out requests, like people, I've been sending stuff, but men don't like to hear, don't like to sit and listen through a whole video of people reading and all that. I had to learn this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Neither
Mm.
we had to actually learn how to sit through and listen to people read books to actually get their perspective. Because if I read it, I might have a different perspective.
Right.
That's why I appreciate that y'all doing it, because y'all have a different perspective. And it's a lot of things I'm learning about women that I wouldn't know,
Mm.
just from y'all giving your perspective. That's why when I talked about the sex toys, that was me saying that we have an issue with women having orgasms, right? But we tend to always put things in the middle of it instead of fixing it and getting it
Mhm.
on this point.
Wow.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? We
Mhm.
always bring things in that don't belong there, and then next thing you know, she can't. Because remember, a relationship is something that's energy exchange between all these aspects. The way you look at a person, the way you touch a person, the way your sexual energy connect, the way the sex is, and everything, right? So when you interfere or bring in something in between those energies, guess
Mhm.
what happened? One day she gonna be tired of that look. She gonna, because it's gonna be it's gonna, and he too, because those toys and stuff make things take away certain energies in
Mhm.
her. So when he having sex with her, he don't feel it like he felt it before.
Mhm.
So
Absolutely.
you lose something, and you lose that energy, because you can make men make women have orgasms.
Mhm.
Mm.
You understand? Men make women have orgasms. The,
Mhm.
the reason why I say that is because the way that he carry himself, the way he smelled, the way he talked to her, the way everything is mental, everything is all of
Mhm.
us exchanging. But he need to get that feedback from her in order to get him into that mode where he can do that. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because if you're out of shape, you might not do your due diligence the way that you would normally do. But
Mhm.
if you have a partner, I'm talking about, you can be damn near about to pass out, but if you need to get her there, you will go over and beyond. You'll get past that point because you know it's something that you have to do. But you got to have that partner to get you to do that. Now, if y'all got something buzzing around, all that, you know what I'm saying? All those things that you need to add to anything, it takes away the natural experience. You know what I'm saying?
You and the side effects. Okay.
I'm
We
just
got
saying, you got the jizz, you know what I'm saying, all that. I mean, it's cool, but I feel like naturally, those tools that they use, it don't build relationships for 40, 50 years.
Mhm.
Mm.
You
Absolutely.
see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Those build 10-year 5-year relationships. You know what I'm saying? Those
Mhm.
build the now relationships. They don't
Dang.
build longevity relationships. You know what I'm
Mine is
saying?
8 years old too. I need you
I'm
to get
there
out my
too.
business.
Right. I'm there too. So, we do have to find new things and new experiences, but
Right.
why can't y'all do it without the man-made things?
Mhm.
Why can't it be something natural? Like, go by the beach. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Find things that you can use naturally to build that rapport in a relationship that will make the scenery change. You go somewhere, yeah, hey, let's go in the woods. You know what I'm saying? That's an experience. These are
Right.
different things, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Right.
But you make it where it's comfortable, you know what I'm saying? You took your time out to make it like, hey, let's go in the woods. You like, I don't know, it's stuff in the woods, not. No, it's a wolf in there. Come on, I'm gonna show you a little bit, you know. And you have something that you created for her. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? In the
Right.
woods that where it made her feel safe. That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't do that no more.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
as a male, that's what I'm saying. Like, those things take away. And this book about given that aspect of not involving things that don't believe need to be there. It's all about exchanging mentally and physically and understanding those energies exchanging between the two. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate typing. I'll be misspelling. I'll be having typos and shit typing. Like, yeah, I hate typing. So I had to come on. But yeah, y'all have a wonderful evening. I'm gonna check out. Okay.
Thank you, brother Uno.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Y'all.
my beautiful sisters. So thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Y'all go over and show brother Uno some love. He still has a channel. We met each other on YouTube when we were deep into history and just finding out who we are, and we were pumping that information. We were doing videos upon videos every week. And we had like a little team. We had a team, and so we were all getting the information out there. And so
reading books and reading different historical books about
absolutely.
us and who we are, and this all goes together. Everything that all these things go together. It's
Right.
all we what you call soultarian people. We got an energy is just running rampant right now, and we need to get it in order. And it comes from building a relationship between our brothers and sisters in a spiritual form, mental form, physical form, all these different forms that we can be a kind of a universal energy for everybody else. Because once we balance, everybody else gonna get balanced.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's between the so-called black man and black woman that's missing that balance. And once we figure it out and we get in order, your finances go away, all this stuff go away, because we will understand that we don't need none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that we could go in the woods and be able to understand the nature the way that we did before, based on our comfortability with each other. You know what I'm saying? Also, I wanted to bring up one more thing before I go, y'all. I talk a lot.
No, be free.
When y'all was talking about, the grabbing and the gripping, when you or just the desirable holding on to something, right? Sexually, you don't need to hold on to nothing. You've been so trained not to trust him. You understand? Meaning, I'm not gonna let you fall. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing you need to do is caress. You don't need to grab, because if you grab it onto me, you don't trust me. You let go of me and you let your hands free, then I know that you willing to let me take you wherever I can take you to. That experience, you know what I'm saying? So even the gripping and grabbing is a part of you not letting go. And that's why you ain't having no orgasm.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That energy, choking it.
When you do your hands, these are mudras. When you move your hands, it's symbolic.
Right.
When you grab something, like you say you about to fall downstairs, what you do? You grab something. When you having this experience, the sexual experience, you gotta let go. You gotta let free. You know what I'm saying? He got you. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't even look at all we've been saying is energy exchange. And the exchange between those energies is by you letting go, and letting him take control. Because like I say, he the one brings the orgasm. It's coming out of him, be honest with y'all. This is where it's coming from. Just like it comes out of that rose, you know what I'm saying? Or those materials, all that is a part of it, you know what I'm saying? Right. But yeah, I gotta take off. But I just wanted to add that because y'all was making so many valid points. Every time I think about it, I'm going to say something about that. Right, so I'm gone. Right. I'm gone for sure.
Right. All right. We appreciate you.
Peace.
Yes, thank you. Peace, Brother Uno.
And y'all go over and follow Brother Uno, get into the root of it all on Instagram. He still be bringing that history and them facts. Okay. I never even thought about that part about the grabbing and grip. Yeah. Because in my mind, Hoodology 101 for females and ladies night, we do discuss the grip. Okay. We do. So the Kegels, it was for the grip. So I didn't even think about that. Just your body would naturally react to it and be
Mm.
gripping it on its own. It's an energy level. You don't have to necessarily make a muscle of steel to get
Yeah.
there.
And isn't that comforting to know, you know?
Right. Cause I never could get into Kegels. I ain't gonna lie. I do them, but people go as far as to put these balls up in it. Y'all know the yoni egg.
Mm-hmm.
And honey, I done went out and got a yoni egg. I did not know that it goes by size, number one. I didn't know you started. I went out and got the biggest egg. I got the biggest egg I could find. And baby, that egg was not gonna stay in position. I was like, you know what? Something ain't right here. And so, yeah, being taught those things, and I think these things are being taught by society, the blind leading the blind. And then I got this big heavy egg, and I'm feeling my feelings hurt because I'm like, dang, I can't even hold it in.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, all that. So I didn't think about that part. But yeah, if y'all don't, anybody else want to jump on, if not, we're gonna go on and get out of here.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna run.
And feel free, brother. Oh no, anytime you want to jump on, nothing is like having a masculine or the male's point of view. And so that's what it is. We have started shunning the male point of view, and that is out of balance. There is no life without both. And so I don't even know how we got here, but that is welcome. It's always welcome. If you all intend on participating on a Wednesday night, please let us know. Everybody that's been participating, we appreciate you. We will be there this Wednesday. Reading, pre-reading chapter 8.
Mm-hmm.
The setting is a little more intimate, so you can feel open and free to share. We share. It's getting really good. We had us a good kiki last Wednesday.
Yes. We
And
had a good
so
time.
please feel free to reach out if you want to participate. Shout out to everybody who comes here and shows up again on Sunday. We appreciate you too. Don't forget to share, comment, and like.
Mm-hmm.
Even go out your way and save us to your watch later. Your watch later. That'll help it boost it off,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you can follow me. I'm on Instagram on all social media platforms as Styles by Nina and Katie's Alchemy. All of my links will be in the description box. And take us away.
Yes, yes. You can follow me on Instagram at the Abundant Sister. Um, yeah. I'll put all of my contact info and website and all that stuff in the description.
Right.
And thank y'all. Thank y'all. Until next time we connect. Peace, prosperity, and abundance, everybody. Thank you.
Peace, prosperity, and abundance. Peace and power. And y'all don't forget to go over to both channels and subscribe. We need the numbers. We
Mhm.
appreciate you. And if at any point you all want to hop on here and share, please do. We love it. We love it.
Yes.
We're gonna go and get out of here.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.